checking it out.
Hello.
We've got 40 minutes to go here before the start of the semi-state.
I'm hot. I just went hot.
We're hot. Scott's hot. I'm hot.
Steve's hot.
Yeah.
Well, we're having a good time down here, JC. You're one of the few people probably watching us right now. We've been here since about 5 o'clock. The weather's turning just a little cooler, but not too bad. There was some expected rain. We're hoping that that's going to stay away. We'll do our best to get through it if it happens. If nothing else, Steve and I will pantomime what the game really looked like here. So we're having some fun, though. Everybody's been great. The technician was phenomenal when he arrived and started hooking us up. So we've got some great feeds, and we're hoping for some great action tonight as Pioneer Panthers take on Monroe Central Golden Bears. And where are they from?
Monroe Central is from Parker City, Indiana, which is just about 10 miles east of Muncie, right on State Road 32. Very small school, a young football program. They just started in 2009. They played an entire season of JV football and then played one varsity game that year. That was just their sectional game. They lost that. 2010 season, they lost all 10 games, and they've gotten progressively better since then. They've won 2, 1, 6, 7, 9, 11, and this year they've won 12 games. And first time ever for sectional champions, first time for regional, and made it all the way here to the semi-state tonight. And I talked to the athletic director over there at Monroe Central, Chris Landis. Very, very nice man. Had a nice chat with him on Thursday morning and just getting a little history of the school and everything. And they've got about 378 kids in the high school, he said. And their last year's class was actually kind of predicted to make it here. They had 15 really good seniors that graduated last year, so they're a little surprised at the success they've had this year. But they're going to take it. And the winner of this game here tonight, Scott, goes on to Indianapolis next week. It's going to play on Friday at noon down at Lucas Oil Field.
Well, there's nothing better than football on Thanksgiving weekend. You know that some of the best action you're going to see in the state of Indiana in the entire year. Hopefully our Pioneer Panthers can get there.
Yeah, they've been there 2 of the last 3 years. They're looking to make it 3 of the last 4. And this year they're looking to seal the deal. Last 2 times down there they've been defeated, have not won state since Casey over here was just a pup back in 1997. He was a sophomore on the team that won state first time for Pioneer, and right now the only time that they've won. But they've been down there and they're looking to get back again. And this is going to be a good one here tonight. You're looking at the Monroe Central team. Actually, you're not looking at them. You're looking at a big L. But they got some hosses up front, Scott. They're going about 280 all the way up to about 320 up front.
Nice. I like it when I could wear someone's shirt and it makes me look small. Hey, we're going to go ahead and cut out the audio right now, Steve, but we'll be back at 7 o'clock, folks, for kickoff here. Tune in, Pioneer versus Monroe Central, Northern Indiana semi-state for Class 1A. We'll be back in a few.
All right, good evening and welcome from Logansport High School, the home tonight of the Pioneer Panthers. Tonight we have North Semistate action coming your way. It's going to be the Class 1A number 1 Pioneer Panthers at 13-0, taking on the Monroe Central Golden Bears, number 5 in the state at 12-1. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to RTC4.com. Channel 4 in Rochester, and the ISC Network. Steve Stricker here with Casey Hines, Scott Sager, and Wade Langley on the camera for us this evening.
Well, how you doing this evening, Steve? We were having a great time down here already at Logansport. The game has been moved to Logansport due to field conditions and media requests for Pioneer, so we're happy to be on some turf, and we've got a nice press box here. Everybody's been exceptionally hospitable. So I just want to thank everybody for tuning in. Glad to be down here again working with our folks from Pioneer. We'll get the cameras rolling here, and I'll hand it over to Casey Hines. You guys have a great broadcast tonight.
All right, thanks, Scott. And I want to send out a huge thank you to everybody here at Logansport High School. Just found out yesterday morning that the game was going to be moved, and I mean, you don't think about the little things that they have to do to get this field ready to play. I mean, obviously it's field turf, so that's in a good shape. But, you know, bathrooms are all winterized, ready to go. You know, there's no water in anything, and the concession stands are all buttoned up and ready to go for winter. So, Casey, appreciate you coming back here. Really enjoyed the game we covered 2 weeks ago over at Pioneer with LCC and Pioneer, and glad to be back down here covering the Panthers again.
Well, yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Anytime you get to experience a semi-state, it's kind of, an interesting situation. I actually work for Logansport Schools. I went to Pioneer, but, Logansport pays the bills for me, and it's a great school corporation. The AD here is a Pioneer grad from '95. He graduated with my brother, and, the Pioneer field was a little bit sloppy, and, the media request, the press box is a little bit older, but this is a great place. It's a great facility. You got, I saw the maintenance guys here. I drove up here on my lunch, and they do their thing with the field. They have a tow-away thing. I think there's little rubber pellets in it, and they try to even those out, and it looks really great tonight. And hopefully the weather can stay good, and then we just have a great night.
Yeah, what we got going on for you tonight, it's the Final Four in the state of Indiana in Class A football. Of course, up here, number 1 versus number 5. Down south at Indianapolis Lutheran, it's going to be number 3 Lutheran at 11-2, and they're going to be taking on Eastern Green. They're number 2 in the state at 10-3. The winners here and the winner there will meet next Friday at 12 p.m. down at Lucas Oil for the state championship game. A game that the Panthers have been in the 2 of the last 3 years, but haven't been able to bring home the big trophy since you were a sophomore in high school in 1997. So they're looking to get down there and finish the deal, so to speak. They've got a big test ahead of them, though, here tonight. The Golden Bears come in. They've only been playing football over at Monroe Central for about 7 years. But I tell you what, they've gotten progressively better. They started off their first full season in 2010 with 0 wins. And they've gotten better every year. They had 2 wins, 1 win, 6 wins, 7 wins, 9 wins, 11 wins last year, and 12 wins here this year. And first time ever for them making it this far. They had made it to the sectional finals last year and gotten beat. And here they are tonight. They won the sectional, defeating Clinton Central in game number 1 at home, 57-6. The second game of the sectional, they beat Clinton Prairie 42-12, and then they went over to Sheridan for the sectional championship. And Casey, and I know, Sheridan is one of those names in small-time Indiana football that goes way, way back, and they were able to go to Sheridan and pick up the 26-7 win, putting them into the regional championship game. And they went had a home game against a very good Southwood team that was 11-2, 11-1 at the time. And I don't know if you've seen the end of that game, but there was quite a play. There was a 4th down play. I believe it was 4th and 15 from the 16-yard line with 5 seconds to go. And senior Nick Mitchell They're calling it the catch, which it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Touchdown to pull out the big win, 28-21 against a very, very good Southwood team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard amazing things. I got my friend John Hines up here. He's going to help me, and he lives in Wabash County, so he says, I think Southwood's going to win this game. And then we're like, I did the chains last week at the Pioneer game, helped the chain crew, and everybody's looking at their phone. They're like, it's tied now. And then, like, Southwood, they just got beat in the last second, and we couldn't hardly believe it because we heard so many good things about Southwood. Monroe Central's a little bit of an unknown, but I started reading up on him this week. Oh, my gosh, look at this coach. I mean, he won sectionals in Muncie Central, coached Ryan Kerrigan. He's got a good pedigree. They basically tried to get him to come to Monroe Central to kind of get their program going after 2 unsuccessful years. And, boy, he's done it. I mean, he's an exceptional coach. He looks like he's got a great team. I mean, I'm looking at some stats today, and I said, wow, they got some really good weapons with the Wilson kid, Seth Wilson. He's a 6-foot, 175 junior. He's got 13 touchdowns. Wyatt Snyder's a 5'10", 175-pound senior. He's got 20 touchdowns. I mean, they have some weapons. They're dangerous. They're big. Hopefully, I know Coach Barry. I've been around him for a long time, and he's going to have his troops ready as well.
As I've been preparing for this game, I've been talking to some people. I talked to the athletic director from Monroe Central on Thursday morning. His name's Chris Landis. Very good person to talk to over the phone. Just trying to get some background on Monroe Central and everything. They are big. They go almost 300 pounds across the front line. You don't see that in Class 1A football. You barely see that in small-time college football. So that's going to be a challenge. I like being on the turf. I think that this is actually going to be a benefit for the Panthers. They're going to be able to utilize their speed. They're not going to get bogged down in the turf on the pit as they would, up at Pioneer. I think we're going to see a quick Pioneer team here tonight, and I think that they're going to do some things against these, really big frontline players for Monroe Central. It isn't going to be a runaway.
Well, I probably shouldn't say this, but it's like Pioneer's second home. They did their scrimmage was done here because Northwestern had field problems at the beginning of the year. They do that preseason scrimmage. And then actually Pioneer does a lot of summer scrimmages here. They do 7-on-7 and they do 11-on-11 to Thud. And they scrimmage Logan and they scrimmage Sheridan and they scrimmage Clinton Central and they do all these and Knox. And McConaughey came down, I know. And so I don't think Pioneer is going to be like really crazy hard to adjust to this for them because they've been here quite a bit over the last few years, especially after Logan installed turf. And you do these 11-on-11 scrimmages in the summer, everybody wants to come to Logan and play on the turf because it's a beautiful field, and they take care of it, and they do a nice job here. So it's just, it's a different environment. Pioneer, it's a very small stands. You're really compact. You're in there, and here, it's a stadium. I mean, the locker rooms are right underneath us up here in the top of the press box, and it's the full meal deal. It's a nice setup.
Well, in the stands, the Panther fans are coming out in droves. They're filling up the stands, and it's a good thing that we got the bigger set because they're doing a good job coming over here. It's just a short drive, about 10, 15 minutes, depending on where you live in the school district, from Pioneer over here to Logansport. The Panthers got here. They won their sectional at home, but they won the first game on the road at Carroll, and that was a bit of a dogfight. I don't want to get too disparaging, but I've heard some things about that game. But they won that one 55-21 and then came back with North White at home and were able to hold some guys out. They were pretty banged up after that Carroll game. And then they won that one easily against a 2-7 North White team, 46-0. And then, of course, the championship game, we were down there with you against LCC, the big-time rivals. LCC came in, not the season that they normally have, 4-7 at the time. They came in, and boy, Pioneer just kind of laid it to them. It was kind of dicey at first. Pioneer went down pretty easily on the first drive of the game, scored. LCC was coming right back. And if it wasn't for Jack Kaiser getting an interception in the end zone, they would have tied that thing up. They get that interception, and then they take it back down. They score, make it 14-0, and never LCC never got closer than 14 after that. So the Panthers, tested a little bit there against LCC, ended up winning that one 48-20, and then come back last week against a young LaVille team. They're a good team. They're a Hoosier North Conference team, but handled them easily 38-0. Second time they won with a shutout against LaVille this season. So the Panthers, they're going to have their hands full. We've talked about, the thing is with Monroe Central, with what I've been looking at, they've got a quarterback as big as they are up front. They don't run what you would consider a power set very much.
No.
They go back and forth between their senior quarterback, Casey Conitzer. I don't even know how Canaster. And then sometimes the running back, Snyder, he runs kind of a wildcat type of set. So they've got their a lot of different sets that they run, and it's going to be – the thing is you can't key on any one person on their offense.
No, and I go to the Wing T camp in the summer up at Trine, and then Pioneer goes against that, and Busco was up there. They had a good team. Pioneer, Logansport, a lot of schools go up there, and one of the basic defenses that the Pioneer goes against, you go against cones up there. You learn how to your correct shoulder, your correct footwork, your correct block, your blocking rules on every play. And the main defense that they go against up there is the 5-2. And that's what Monroe Central runs. They got some big boys, so they're going to be at 5 defensive linemen and 2 linebackers. And those D tackles are big boys. And I think if Pioneer can trap those guys and they can get a good push on the nose guard, get him upfield, then they're going to have a good chance of running the trap, because I don't think Danny Gregorich, number 24 for Pioneer, he's a junior. He's had a leg injury. He hasn't been himself this year at fullback. And I think if they can run some trap and they can do some things inside. And I was talking to somebody today, and whenever you got Jack Kaiser on your team, he goes up to the line, and he's savvy enough, and he could just say, all right, we're outnumbered over here. We're going to audible, and we're going to go the other way. And you'll see Jack do that. He'll make a signal, or he'll start shouting some things, and he's going to change the direction. It's all about numbers. It's just a numbers game. And now Monroe's offense, that is a little bit of a test for Pioneer, because they're multiple. What I mean by multiple is you're going to see, sometimes you see double tight, double wing, fullback in the backfield. Sometimes you see spread out. They're in a 2x2 set, or they're in a gun set. They're very talented running back / wide receiver guys. They're pretty good, and they're well coached. I don't know. I'm not going to give a prediction or anything like that, but I think if Pioneer can keep Monroe Central from kind of get those bigger guys tired. Pioneer's got some quickness. They got some blazers. I mean, so does Monroe Central. But I think if Pioneer can play really good defense, and that's been their thing, they've stopped the run unbelievably this year. I mean, they don't let people run the ball on them. That's going to be the big test, and we're gonna see tonight, I guess, who's ready to come out and play. Who wants to play in the Luke next week?
Right. Well, and stopping the run, saying you're going to stop the run is a little easier said than done with this team, because you've got the senior Snyder with 934 yards. He's averaging 8.9 yards per carry, 16 touchdowns on the year. But then you've also got Wilson, who has 794 yards. He's averaging 7.5 yards a carry with 7 touchdowns. And then you throw into the mix Keegan Kane. He's got 389 yards. So it's hard to pick, one person to stop. But I think that, you look at the weapons on the Pioneer Panthers side of things, obviously Kaiser. I think that if they can get Llewellyn out on that jet sweep, get him into that second level, it's going to be interesting, because this turf, with the speed of Llewellyn and the speed of Kaiser, I think that they're going to out-quick the big guys from Monroe Central.
Well, and the one thing I was kind of kind of talking to, I got a friend that's the head coach at Clinton Central, and I talked to him the other day. So, you know, you played him. They struggled this year, but, you know, he's a young team and first-year coach there. But he's really smart. He played at Wabash College, and he said, you know, they're really good. But the one thing is, Casey, he goes, they struggled with the wing T team in Shenandoah. And that's Pioneer's wing T, up and down. They're blocking schemes. They may run a little bit of gun, but it's a lot of wing T blocking. It's shoulders. It's a down block. It's a kick out. It's a through. It's all these things and they're super well coached on both sides of the ball. And I'd even think in the last 2 years, Pioneer's gotten better coaching defense than they have. You know, everybody's like, oh, Pioneer wing T, Pioneer wing T. You know, they've gotten so much better running that 4-3 scheme, and then they'll walk the backer up and they'll go with an eagle 5-2 look, and then they'll kind of start disguising more coverages and doing some things. For a 1A school, for both sides really, to have these good of coaches is pretty incredible.
Yeah, and you mentioned Shenandoah. They gave the Golden Bears their only loss of the season back in October. They won that one 20-42. Shenandoah, you know, a good team. They're 9-3 on the year. But you mentioned it that the wing T style offense that Shenandoah runs is very similar to what Pioneer runs. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting contrast of styles here tonight, kind of like what we had with LCC. You know, the running style of Pioneer versus the more of a, I don't know if you'd call it a pro set, you know, because like they do multiple sets and stuff, but you know, it's going to be a contrast in styles, and we're getting set to go. Let's see what they've got going here. National anthem, it looks like, maybe.
Already.
Alrighty, Casey, just as the national anthem is getting sung, I can see across the way in the lights the rain has started here at Logansport. Scott's over here getting the umbrella and rain gear out so they don't get the equipment wet, and try and keep everything in tip-top shape for Wade out there. So
let's talk a few stats if you want. Coach Berry, he's 27-1 his second year. He made it to state finals last year. They lost to Linton Stockton 20-34 as a heartbreaker of a game. Just Pioneer never seemed to feel good about themselves last year down at state finals. It was kind of a heartbreaker, but the closest game this year was Knox week 7. Now people say, well, Pioneer's never played a big team. Knox is a pretty good team, pretty big. They're 280, 290. They got some big boys.
Yeah.
Scoring-wise, Jack Kaiser's got 32 touchdowns. You know, he's the guy that's getting recruited. He's 6'2", 210-pound junior quarterback. He's thrown for 1,082 yards, 32 touchdowns. But they kind of use him as a fullback almost back there. They run some off-tackle power. He's a really good safety coming downhill, and he's getting recruited by Iowa, Purdue, Indiana, and he's done some visits to Notre Dame. Ezra Llewellyn, he's a freshman. He's 5'7", 150 pounds. He's got 70 carries for 916 yards. And then, you know, I was talking about this guy earlier, Danny Gregorich, number 24. He's kind of been a sleeper this year because he's had that deep thigh bruise, hasn't felt himself. He's still been a pretty solid guy to have on defense. A couple guys to look out for on defense for Pioneer will be Miles Von Tobo. He's a sophomore, number 14. He's 5'10", 160-pound sophomore. Ezra Llewellyn and Danny Gregorich. Now, when we look at Monroe Central, Coach John Hostetler, he's 46-23 in his 6th year at the school. Coached at Muncie Central for 15 years, and then he came to Monroe Central. They lost to Shenandoah, but the other closest game they had was Southwood, 28-21, and they lost that, or they beat Southwood. Casey Canaster, I was looking at his numbers today, pretty incredible. He's got 2,511 passing yards. That's a lot. He's a 6', 180-pound senior. He's number 12. Rushing-wise, they got number 2, Wyatt Snyder. He's got 934 yards, and number 5, Seth Wilson's got 794. And I was kind of looking at the defense today, and a couple guys, man, they got a couple guys over 100 tackles. I mean, that's scary. Number 5, Seth Wilson, he's a 6', 175-pound junior linebacker, 112 tackles. Then you got Caden Conklin, he's a 5'10", 205-pound junior defensive lineman with 103 tackles. You're all over the field if you're doing that. So you're all over. You're blazing around. You're moving. So I'm excited about this game. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a good test for Pioneer. That's a good test for Monroe Central. I was reading all the news articles out of that Muncie area and reading, you know, we got the Ferris Tribune here in Logansport, and they do a nice job covering local sports. And, you know, they're excited. This community gets pretty spoiled because Pioneer has been really solid the last 15 years. We've had some really successful teams.
Yeah, they, you know, I think you see Monroe out there on the field now. They just came out. They got some big boys. You know, looking at them from our vantage point up here, I see number 70 right there for Monroe. That is a Tucker Young. He's a 6'5" senior, goes 315 pounds. So that's going to be the test. You know, how does Pioneer handle the size up front of Monroe? You mentioned it, you know, Knox, they got some big boys. That's a 3A school up in Stark County, and they did very well against them. I think the field, like I said earlier, I think this field is going to be advantageous to Pioneer here this evening. I think the speed, you know, I was reading the one article that the Ferris Tribune did talking about Kaiser and Llewellyn going up to Chicago to that speed camp. And Ezra has a record for his age group that's still on the board up there. Jack Kaiser running a 4.6, 4.7 type, 40 speed. And Ezra is actually a little bit faster than that. And then Ezra's brother, Adai, is right in that range, just a little bit slower than Jack. So you can get those guys out on the edge. You can get them outside the numbers and take advantage of that speed. I think the Pioneer Panthers are going to be in good shape here.
Well, when, you know, the Llewellyn boys were younger in youth football, man, everybody just sat there and their jaws dropped because they're like, these kids are really, really fast. And you know, we've had some good players in the past, but we're just like, wow, these guys are just moving. And I think that Jack Kaiser was kind of excited for his junior season because he got to play with the Llewellyn brothers. I think that was probably he's getting a little more excited. They had some pretty solid teams in the last few years, but you know, these guys are some weapons that Pioneer is desperately happy to have.
All right, here we go. If you look over to the south end zone here at the Logansport field, the Panthers are getting set to come out onto the field now. This got about 2.5 minutes left here before the kickoff, and saying their final words. Great work there on the camera.
So, seeing if I got any issues with the feed or anything, but
and here they come, your Pioneer Panthers, looking to make it back-to-back semi-state champs here this evening. We're going to go to commercial here for a second, come back with the starting lineups in just a moment here from Logansport High School. You're watching RTC4.com and Channel 4 in Rochester.
Got that new home edition and you're keeping it covered.
Ooh, coverages now. I can help with this. Got zone coverage, man coverage, combo coverages.
I don't know, Peyton. I think more like the coverage your nationwide agent offers.
Oh, you want to go there? Home, auto, life, business, farm, boat, RV, ATV, camper, pet, motorcycle, your tour bus. Right. Did I mention farm?
Contact Jennings Insurance Agency today or visit one of our offices in Argus and Rochester.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Simplify your banking with a Simply Free checking account from First Federal Savings Bank.
All it takes is a $50 opening deposit. There's no minimum balance requirement and no service fees.
For a limited time, you'll also receive a free gift just for opening a checking account.
And with Instant Issue, we can give you a debit card when you open your account, giving you immediate access to your funds.
Simply Free checking from First Federal Savings Bank, a simpler way to bank.
And remember, we don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best bank.
All right, welcome back here to Logansport. We're getting set to go. The Panthers are going to receive the ball first to start the game versus Monroe Central Golden Bears. Got some fireworks going off across the road. Got them lined up down the street there. They're all set up across the way. Casey, this is about to get real right here between the Pioneer Panthers and the Monroe Central Golden Bears. The winner goes down to Indianapolis next week for a state championship attempt, and the loser goes home. So here we go. It's going to be the Bears kickoff.
It's a big kicker right there, 54.
Yeah, number 54 is Kobe Brown, a 5'8", 224-pound senior. He's their offensive line and defensive lineman, so I know they said they don't generally kick extra points. They usually go for 2 if they get a touchdown. So, all right, here we go. We're set to go here from Berry Field, and it's a short kick fielded at the 20 by Kaiser, and he gets up to about the 31, and that's where the Panthers are going to start here, 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line.
We're going to start on the right hash here, it looks like, and I wonder if Pioneer is going to be coming out in their gun set or their wing T set. I'm not sure. I know they don't use a lot of formations, but they do a lot of different plays that kind of look the same. It's kind of smoke and mirrors at times, and that's kind of what the wing T is a little bit.
All right, so they're going to start off here the first drive of the game at the 31-yard line. Kaiser's going to be under center. And you see the 5-2 defense, Monroe Central. Llewellyn goes in motion. They're going to give it to the up back for a gain of about 2.
A little trap play like we were talking about, but you're going to have to move number 70, that big nose guard in there for Monroe Central. And he's Tucker Young. He's 6'5", 315 pounds.
So they get up to the 33-yard line here on the second play. That was a 2-yard run there by Gregorich. Got that down. Gregorich.
Yeah, you got her down, buddy.
It took me a whole game to do that. And Llewellyn goes in motion again. And Kaiser's going to pull it out. He's going to get around the outside there, and he runs over Llewellyn. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 35-yard line.
It's kind of the power lead play, and that's a play Pioneers kind of ran pretty well, pretty consistently this year. Jack's fighting for every yard there, and Monroe Central, they really flew after the ball there. Good job gang tackling.
So that brings up a 3rd down and 6 for the Panthers from the 35-yard line.
It's like Monroe Central's going to be in there.
Kaiser's going to roll out here to the right. He's looking for the pass. Nobody's downfield for him. He's going to get out, and he can't get away. And he's brought down that time by number 5, Seth Wilson. And he's brought down for a loss of 4. So the Panthers 0 net yards, maybe 1 yard on that first drive. And they're going to be forced to punt here right out of the gate.
That was a good tackle there by number 5, Seth Wilson. He's a 6-foot junior, and he caught Jack from the backside. Now, that's the key pass play that they like to run, and the quarterback's kind of like an RPO. He has the option to run or pass, and Jack looked like he maybe held on to it a little bit too long.
Kaiser with the punt. It's going to get down. Looks like it's going to go out of bounds about the 35, right at the 35. So the Golden Bears are going to start their drive at the 35-yard line of the Pioneer Panthers.
Well, you got, the semi-state jitters a little bit. You come out and you got to get matched up a little bit. That's a big team you're blocking. You might have to put get a little extra lower, get that shoulder on the hip, get down low and dig them out.
All right, so the first offensive series here for Monroe starts off at the 35-yard line of Pioneer. And they're going to throw right out of the gate, and a nice completion out there to Mitchell. And he's going to have a big gainer all the way down to the 47, 48, looks like maybe 49-yard line of Pioneer. So big gain on first down for Monroe Central. Get it into Pioneer territory here in the first play from scrimmage. Big gainer.
Well, that was the kind of the new kind of concept. You got a guy short, long, and in the middle, and they threw it to the short guy there and got a nice little gain there.
Knatzer under center. He's got 2 wide right, 1 in the backfield. Got motion coming left, and he's going to give it up the gut. And nice job there by the Panthers. They stopped the play after a gain of about 2, it looks like.
Yeah, they're gonna be tested up front tonight. I mean, that's a good job. Pioneer does much better stopping the run than defending the pass. So when they do defend the pass, they're gonna have to get that pass rush. 75, Jason Mersch, he's gonna have to get around those big guys, use his hands. He's really good at using his hands, getting in the backfield. And nice job there by the Panthers to hold Monroe Central to a 2-yard gain.
Brings up a 2nd down and 8 for Monroe from the 47-yard line of Pioneer. Llewellyn is offsides right there. He backed off good. And he's going to get a swing pass over to the left, and that's going to be dropped by Israel Nash out on the flat right there. That was just a drop.
Right.
I mean, there was nothing, nobody defending that.
Really a good call by Monroe Central there to get it to their guy in space. That they're going to pick on the freshman, basically, and they got it to, Israel Nash is a good guy. He's been doing a lot of things for Monroe Central this year, and it's pretty dangerous. Now they're going to come out in the trips down here to the field side.
All right, Knatzer goes out of the gun this time. They've got 2 right, 3 left, and he's looking over the middle, and it's dropped. Nice defensive play that time by Llewellyn, knocks it out. And that was intended for number 23, Cameron Caldwell, another dangerous receiver for him, a 5'10 junior.
Well, that was Jack Kaiser got to lower the boom there a little bit, and they got a little taste of what number 4 back there at safety. He's a headhunter. He's going to bring the wood.
All right, so that's going to force a punt here for Monroe Central, 4th and 8. And a booming punt, let it go, but he catches it at the 5. Kaiser's going to return it. And he gets around the outside. He's at the 30. He's at the 40 and out of bounds. Good return there. I kind of thought, initially, hey, let it roll in the end zone, get it to 25, but that's Jack Kaiser. You don't want to let it roll.
Usually the standard rule is you tell your punt returner, stand on the 10, anything over your head, let it go. But you got Jack Kaiser back there.
The rules are out the door.
He could tilt the field, and that's a really good momentum shift there for Pioneer after a pretty good defensive series, because Monroe came out throwing, and they moved the ball a little bit. Now Pioneer's going to have to figure out little bit of a recipe to move the ball a little better.
Yeah, that first down play from Monroe, that was the only really gain they had. They got 2 yards there on one run, and then Pioneer stopped them 4th and 8. So the Panthers back on the offense. They're going to start off on the 40 of their own 40. Kaiser gives it up the middle to Gregorich, and he gets about 4 yards, 3-4 yards there on the gain.
Well, that must have been a play they thought they could run against this team, because was that trap play, or maybe they run the on play a little bit. You run the jet guy across, and then you give it to your fullback. And a lot of college teams run the concept of zone. They run zone, and they give the ball to their back, and he tries to find a three-way go. He can either go to the front side, cut it back, or where the hole should be. So Jackson looks like he's going to audible right now.
All right, so they are at the 43-yard line right now. Kaiser under center has Llewellyn in the backfield, who's got a motion coming across, and he's going to give it to Gregorich, and he gets stopped for a loss of about 2.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, number 70, Tucker Young, the 6'5", 315-pound senior, blew that play up because he just handled that Pioneer right tackle and blew him up in the backfield. And the wing tee is all about execution, getting off the ball, and penetration like that is going to disrupt some things.
That brings up a 3rd and 7 for Pioneer. They're back to the 41-yard line. They're struggling right now getting things going. The big boys up front, you mentioned number 70. He blew the heck out of that play, Tucker Young. Here we go, Kaiser under center. He's going to give it to a Llewellyn. Llewellyn bounces off of a tackle, but he can't get any more than about 2 yards right there, and it's going to bring up another punt here for the Panthers. That was a different look there for Pioneer than I've seen giving it out of the backfield to Llewellyn. He did bounce off of one player, but good job by the linebacker to come up and make that tackle, bringing up a 4th down here for the Panthers.
Those counter plays take a little bit longer to develop and a little bit trickier to run, and you got to make sure there's no penetration in the backfield.
Nice punt. Llewellyn's going to let it bounce. It's going to take a little bit of a Pioneer bounce and be down about the 16-yard line. It's where the Monroe Golden Bears will start on offense here. First and 10. We've only had 1 first down so far here in the game, and that was the first play from scrimmage for the Monroe Golden Bears. Panthers still struggling against the size up front. Haven't been able to get anything going. 2 punts so far. Second possession here for Monroe Central, and they're starting backed up at the 16-yard line.
Well, I think offensively Pioneer's going to have to figure out a recipe to get outside a little bit more, because inside is kind of bottled up right now.
They're going to run up the middle and pick up a nice gain there on first down. That's number 2, Wyatt Snyder, with the nice gain.
I liked that play. That was a pretty good play. You send motion the other way, come to the backside, and I think Pioneer made it. I think that could have busted for a little bit longer if we didn't make a little bit of a saving tackle there.
That's going to bring up a second down play here for Monroe. Looks like they've got about 4 yards to go. It's going to be on the 22-yard line.
It looks like 55's in the backfield. I don't know how they got away with that.
All right, they got Snyder out of the back, and he's going to run it. And a nice job there by the Panthers of reading it, and he's going to be brought down at about the 25. It's going to bring up about a 3rd and 1 here for Pioneer.
They like that speed option play. I saw them run it against Sheridan a little bit, and they got a pretty good quarterback, and they run that big fullback as a lead blocker to get out in front and lead the play, and Pioneer did a nice job pursuing, because when you pursue plays like that, it's all about angles, taking good angles, shedding blocks, and running inside out.
All right, so 3rd and 1 here for Monroe. Knatzer back under center for the Bears, and he's going to try and run it off the left side, and looks like he's going to get through for the first down. The second effort right there it was Snyder. Snyder out of center, and the second effort there is enough to get him the first down. So the drive continues here from the 27-yard line, 1st and 10 for Monroe.
It's kind of a fight right now, just kind of going back and forth. Monroe Central's having a little bit more success on offense, but Pioneer's kind of hanging with them right now and not letting them get too much.
Short gainer there. It looks like they just got back to the line of scrimmage on 1st down. Nice defensive play there by the Panthers.
Well, that's the way you got to close. You got to close fast, and that was a nice job there by the defensive tackle for Pioneer, number 63, Garrett Schroeder. He just closed in on that running back and made a nice play, and that's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to get in that backfield and make those kind of plays.
Brings up a 2nd down and 9. Going out of the shotgun, and they're going to look over here to the left, and a sack, big time. Is that Gregorich? Gregorich with the sack, and he hammered him. He came out of nowhere right there, and he hammered Knatzer, and that's going to be a big loss on the play of about 8 yards.
They've been bringing him off the edge a little bit. He's that middle linebacker. He's kind of the brains of the defense back there. And his brother, Dave Gregorich, is the defensive coordinator, and he's been starting to blitz him a little bit more. And that was just an incredible play by 24 Danny Gregorich. I called him Dave.
Well, that's going to bring up a 3rd and long here for the Golden Bears. That was a 10-yard sack for Gregorich. And they're going to run around the right side, and he gets back to the original line of scrimmage and is tackled. That's going to bring up a 4th and 10. So another punt coming up here for Monroe Central. That was a big sack that time by Gregorich. That really stalled what momentum that Monroe Central had. And we're going to have our 4th punt already of the 1st quarter. Still got 2:45 left to go.
It was a powerful backside sack, too. I mean, those quarterbacks didn't know it was coming. I mean, it just kind of shocked him. Nice block there by Pioneer. Get a piece of that. Still got a decent kick, though.
It's going to go out of bounds at about the 49, so the best starting position here for the Panthers that they've had all night. Let's see if they can get something going on offense. Still looking for that first down of the game.
Well, I think you're limited in the A and B gaps anyways. You're going to have to start working the outside a little bit, stretching those that defensive line, and just hoping your speed can match up with their speed and get the ball to some people in space.
Yeah, we talked about, they've got to get outside of the big back or the big lineman right there, and they haven't been able to do it. Kaiser's going to go around the left side. He finds a little bit of daylight right there for about 5 on 1st down, so that's promising right there. Kaiser gets 5. So bring 2nd down and 5 here for the Panthers. They get over on Monroe's side of the field, down at the 46-yard line.
One of the things that I really like about Jack Kaiser is that he plays better in bigger games. And he shows up, and he's running really hard. He's getting that another gear tonight. Just hasn't got the bust one, but just wait. I think he's getting close.
Well, that was a great run there on 1st down, and he's going to keep it again. And he's going to get across the 40-yard line to almost now they're going to go right at the 40. So that's going to be a 1st down for the Panthers. First down of the night, and Kaiser is able to get 5 on 2nd. And that's a good sign right there.
That looked a lot better. You got a good down block. You got to have a tight, you got a 5'10", 160-pound tight end going up against a 315-pound kid. It's going to have to be a double team, and you're going to have to down block really well. And they're trying to figure those things out right now, and I think they're getting it going better.
Kaiser's going to keep. He's going to go around the outside, and a nice tackle that time by Snyder, bringing Kaiser down after a gain of about 4 yards, it looks like. And they're going to call it 3 to the 37. So it's going to be a 2nd down and 7 for the Panthers. Snyder was kind of by himself. That was a good open field tackle that time. If he doesn't make that tackle, Kaiser's going to go for 15+. Ooh, a little miscommunication. Gregorich and Kaiser run into each other hard in the backfield, still able to get positive yards out of it. We got a late flag on the field, really late flag.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it came in pretty late. Be interesting to see what it is. Usually those are late hits.
I didn't see anything there.
I think
number 5, Wilson, they're over there kind of patting him on the head or something, so I don't know what he did. Personal foul on Pioneer.
Yeah, that's not good, especially when you had a little momentum and you got the drive going, and you got a lot of emotions going. And these are 14 to 18-year-old kids out here. Sometimes things can get chippy.
Yeah, that's a drive killer right there. That's going to put them back at the 50-yard line, and now the Panthers have dug themselves into a big hole similar to what Monroe did off of the sack by Gregorich. Now that's going to bring up a big
well, you may have to open it up here a little bit.
Yeah.
You got 3rd and a mile.
3rd down and 19. We're down to the last 30 seconds of the quarter here. Panthers come up to the line wanting to get one off here before the end of the quarter. Kaiser's out of the pistol, puts Llewellyn in motion, and he's going, and he overthrows the receiver. He was looking for number 14, Miles Von Tobel, and he went a mile over his head, and that gets picked off by Wyatt Snyder with 15 seconds left. Not terrible.
No, I don't think
not terrible. They're at the 30. It's not like, they ran it back or anything like that.
No.
But, yeah, it was just a high throw. It kind of sailed on him a little bit.
He was open, but not for very long, and I think Jack saw that, and he threw it a little high. And when you're a quarterback, you don't really want to miss your receiver throwing the ball too high.
All right, 30-yard line, 1st and 10 here. The Monroe, they're going to air it out, and ooh.
That was scary.
Yeah, they got lucky. Nash was open. He ran past Llewellyn right there, but just overthrown that time by the quarterback.
That number 4, Israel Nash, he's got some wheels. The Snyder kid's got some wheels, number 2. And, they're going to test those Llewellyn boys because we got freshmen, Pioneers starting freshmen at corner, and they got some wheels over there.
All right, so the fumble. Ball's on the ground. Looks like Monroe gets on it. And it's going to stay Monroe ball, but that was a mishandle there between the center and the quarterback. And I don't know, Knatzer looks like I think he got dinged pretty good by Gregorich. He still doesn't look like he's feeling really good. But we're at the end of the first quarter here. No score between the Pioneer Panthers and the Monroe Central Golden Bears. You're watching RTC4's coverage of the North 1A Semistate. We're going to take a break and be back here in just a moment with second quarter action.
Show your Panther pride this year by supporting the Pioneer Athletic Boosters. Your contribution to the Boosters helps fund athletic awards, letter jackets, uniforms, equipment, and more. We are the small but mighty Pioneer Panthers. Keep Panther pride alive for years to come. Support the Pioneer Athletic Boosters. Send your contribution to Pioneer High School, attention Athletic Boosters, or call Christy Rance for more information. Go Panthers!
Slow download, constant buffering, Wi-Fi dead zone? Let RTC help. The customer support team at RTC Communications is here to help you with your internet connectivity.
Hi, I'm Bonnie, one of the support team members here at RTC. For a small fee, RTC offers a Wi-Fi health check where we will evaluate your in-home Wi-Fi network and assist you with common issues. See what RTC can do for you. Give us a call today.
11.
All right, second quarter starts with a 3rd and 11 play from the 29-yard line for the Monroe Central Golden Bears. And a nice little pass, and it's dropped.
A little tunnel screen action there. Ooh. They didn't call
I didn't hear. Yeah, I mean, he buried him, but he was still going like that was a fumble. So no flag on that. It's going to bring up a 4th down here for Monroe.
I think Jack's a little bit ready to go. I think he's lit him up a couple times, and they kind of called him out in the paper. They said they were going after number 4 at Pioneer, and you know, I think Jack's probably saying, let's bring this on, let's do this, because he is he's a lot of fun to watch.
High arcing punt. It's going to be fielded and a fair caught at the 46-yard line by Kaiser. It's where the Pioneer Panthers will start their next drive. First down from Monroe's 46 or Pioneer's own 46-yard line.
Well, I think they're going to have to do some things. They're going to have to get to the edge a little bit more, get those guys the ball in space, and I think it's going to be difficult blocking these big boys because they got to block them down and they got to move them. And you don't have to pancake them. It's got to be a stalemate at least, but you got to get a little bit of movement, and that'll help Pioneer.
All right, Kaiser under center. He's going to roll out to the left. And nice play. He's got a man open downfield, and it's a big, oh, he dropped it.
So close.
He had Nate Johnson had the ball and went to the ground and lost it. That would have been a huge play for Pioneer.
Well, it was kind of a jolt that they needed, but I saw Ezra Llewellyn up on the top, and he did not look covered real well. So I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Berry goes back to that here shortly.
Yeah, they had a couple options on that right there. You know, Llewellyn and Johnson were both pretty well open, and that was a beautiful pass there by Kaiser. Dropped it right into the breadbasket and just unable to control the ball all the way to the ground. Kaiser under center. He's going to go off the left side. A big gainer. Here he goes. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. He's going to go in for the touchdown. Kaiser! Big time. We knew it. He was going to break one loose, and there he goes. Touchdown, Panthers.
They run the midline play. They're on the left hash. They run to the boundary. Jack just breaks loose. All he needs is a little bit of room, and he showed off his speed, and they couldn't catch him.
That's a 54-yard run there by Kaiser. Puts the Panthers on the board first with 11:32 left to go here in the first half.
It makes a difference when you have a smart quarterback there. It's like it's so much easier to be a coach. Yeah, it's like having another coach on the field.
All right, the point after attempt here. Nussbaum snaps down, and it's up, and it's good. And they drilled him.
They never threw a flag there on
Did not throw a flag. Nussbaum's not feeling good. He got drilled after the fact on that kick. Panthers up 7-0 with 11:32 left to go here in the first half of play. That was a big run there by Kaiser. He broke that one loose, and he was gone. There was no catching Jack on that one.
I'm going to tell you right now that Pioneer was watching some Sheridan tape because that's the play Sheridan likes to run, and they ran it a lot against Monroe Central, and that's the midline play. And if you get a couple people blocked and get in their way, and you've got a dangerous quarterback, there's some really cool things that can happen when you get everybody a hat on a hat. That's what they call it, get a hat on a hat. Nice job there by Jack Kaiser and the Pioneer offensive line.
Well, they'd done a really good job of containing him throughout the first quarter. You know, like you said, it was just kind of a matter of time. They get everybody in the right positions, and that's what they did right there. And he broke it good. Broke it through for a 54-yard touchdown.
I think the Pioneer fans can breathe a little bit because they thought, man, we're really having trouble moving the ball right now. And this isn't the strongest offensive line that Pioneers had in the past. I mean, they've struggled. It's a younger line. They haven't played as well together as much. But they're getting the job done, and they're playing against some mammoth people over it.
Well, I almost think you're going to see a little bit of wear down. The big boys for Monroe, you know, I just don't think they're going to be able to keep up with the Panthers throughout the game. I think this is a fake the reverse there, and that's going to go, gets the edge, and a nice return there by number 5, Seth Wilson. He's going to get it out across the 35 to about the 37-yard line, it looks like. Nice return. They fake the reverse right there. So good starting field position here for Monroe, coming off of the big run by Kaiser, putting the Panthers up. So Casey, I hear the coaches over there. This is big. Actually, they're going to mark it down at the 39. This is big right here. This is just like against Lafayette Central. You know, the Panthers got the touchdown, and they stopped them on the next drive. Let's see what the Panthers can do here.
They run a little trickeration there, too. And
they get him bottled up, and that's a nice play there by the Panthers. No gain. Big chunk of field, looks like.
Yeah, I was wondering.
Oh, that's somebody's hand warmer.
Usually that's at the Pioneer Field. You get those big chunks of grass coming out. I'm not here on the turf, though.
All right, so good play on first down by the Pioneers defense. They stop Monroe Central with no gain. It looked like Wilson might have gotten a chance to get free right there, but a good job by the secondary to come up and make the tackle.
Well, we're up here right next to the Pioneer coaches on the headsets, and you can hear them calling out tendencies. And right now the tight end is ineligible because they have a guy up on the line, too.
All right. The pass attempt that time by Snyder, and it's no good, incomplete. They're going to bring up a 3rd and 10 here for Monroe Central.
Hey, Scott, do you know Clay Scott? Huh? Do you know Clay Scott? Who works the winning edge?
Clay Scott at the winning edge?
Yeah, I don't know, he told me this. He's a pretty good, he does a lot of film work here. I don't know, you can't really move them, can you?
Hey guys, we're watching.
All right, so a 3rd and 10 here for Monroe Central from the 33-yard line of Monroe Central. And
it's like quarterback right now. He's 1 for 6, and they're running trips right now. Empty backfield.
All right, they got a guy going deep off the left side, and he's open, and it's going to be intercepted, but there's a flag. No, that's not. Yep. First he throws the marker, then he throws the flag. Yeah, that was a little early contact right there by Pioneer. It's going to be a big penalty here for the Panthers.
I thought it was a pretty close call. I mean, I thought Jack came over the top. I mean, they couldn't call it on Jack, but no,
it wasn't. It wasn't. It was Von Tobel, I think, got a hold of him a little early, it looked like.
Well, they're going to talk about it, but I'm sure they're going to go with the pass interference call. So
that's going to be 10-yard. Is that what that is in high school?
Should be a 15 from the spot of the ball.
So 15 from the spot.
Believe so. Call interference. Yep.
So that's going to be a first down for Monroe. That was a big defensive play there by the Panthers, but unfortunately it's going to be all for naught with the penalty. And it's going to be 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line.
I mean, I see number 70 from Monroe Central coming out, and I think I'm going to a WWE wrestling match. That guy is a big boy.
315-pounder, and a little option, and they got the pitch, and Gregorich misses the tackle, but a good job by Llewellyn coming up, and maybe a gain of 1. Looks like they're going to call him down right at the line of scrimmage.
They are popping that quarterback, and that's what you have to do when a team runs the option. You got to let the quarterback know that he's going to get hit. He becomes a ball carrier back there, and Pioneer did a nice job, and that's exactly how the defense, how you do your run fits. You run to the sideline, and everybody has a spot, and they did a nice job there bottling him up.
All right, empty backfield. They motion in, and there's a little screen pass to Wilson, and he's going to get bottled up after a gain of 1.
I'm going to tell you right now, number 80, Dustin Sparks, did a good job because he saw what was going on in front of him, and he used his eyes. And vision is extremely important when you're playing linebacker, and he saw that was a screen setup. And then he jumped back in and made the play. So that was a nice play by Dustin Sparks.
That was better coverage on a screen than I can ever see the Colts doing this year. I mean, they can't ever figure out when a screen's coming. And Pioneer sniffed that out, gain of 1, and it's a 3rd and 9 here from Monroe Central from the 50. You got 3 receivers right, 2 to the left, and there's a nice, he gets past Kaiser, and a big run there by number 23, Cameron Caldwell, and he's going to be down at the 15-yard line.
Well, they got weapons all over the field. I haven't even seen much stats on him, but he had some wheels too.
That's a 35-yard pickup for Monroe Central, brings up a 1st and 10 from Pioneers 15. And, you know, we talked about it. What are the Panthers defensively going to do after they score the touchdown? And really, save for that one big penalty, they did a nice job. And then the big pickup there on the pass. And Monroe's knocking on the door. They got a...
Well, they're stretching out the Pioneer defense. They're running streaks down the field, and then they're running drags across.
And they're going to go right up the gut there with Snyder. And he's going to be limited to a short gain, it looks like.
When you stretch, and that's kind of the concepts a lot of teams have went to, is stretch them out, get the ball in space to your athletes, and throw the ball. You know, I go to clinics, and they say you need to go recruit basketball players because they're taller and they can jump for the ball. And, you know, they got some good players here. But I hope Pioneer can kind of stiffen up here, and we can go into half.
Second down and about 9 here for Monroe. And another up the gut there by Snyder. He's going to get it down to the 10-yard line. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and 5.
Looks like we got about a 3rd and 5 here. 3rd and 6 almost. And this is almost goal line type defense for Pioneer. And a lot of teams like to spread it out when you get to the goal line a little bit. Looks like they're going to come out in a trips formation to the top of your screen.
Camera just went out.
Looks like we're going to take a timeout. Monroe Central's going to think about it.
All right, we got 3rd and 5 from the Pioneer 10-yard line. We got a timeout on the field. We'll be back in just a moment.
Slow download, constant buffering, Wi-Fi dead zone? Let RTC help. The customer support team at RTC Communications is here to help you with your internet connectivity.
Hi, I'm Bonnie, one of the support team members here at RTC. For a small fee, RTC offers a Wi-Fi health check where we will evaluate your in-home Wi-Fi network and assist you with common issues. See what RTC can do for you. Give us a call today.
All right, welcome back here to Logan Sport High School, the temporary home of the Pioneer Panthers. We are in the second quarter. Pioneer leads 7-0, but the Monroe Central Golden Bears are knocking on the door. They've got a 3rd and 5 from Pioneer's 10-yard line. Casey, I'd venture to say this is 4-down territory right here for Monroe Central. I don't think they have a really good place kicker, so I don't look for them to attempt to go for a field goal if they get stopped here on 3rd down.
Looks like they're going to bring 24 Danny Grigorich off the edge a little bit.
They're going to go out of the gun. Oh, they got a wide open, easy touchdown pass. That's a pass and catch there to the corner, and that's going to be Snyder with the 10-yard touchdown catch. And Monroe Central gets on the board.
Almost looked like Pioneer was in like a cover 2 type defense there, and the receiver kind of found the bubble between the corner and the safety playing on top, and it seemed like a pretty, almost too easy of a pitch and catch there.
Yeah, it was wide open right there. Nice little, just a toss out to the flat, and walks in for the touchdown. And, of course, they're going to go for 2. Attempt here, see if they can take the lead here with 7:38 left to go in the first half. Snyder's under center.
Somebody jumped, and I'm not sure if it was offense or defense. Oh, he's holding his hip, so it looks like it's going to be defense. We're going to call it on defense. And encroachment, yep. And that's tough because you're going up against some beefy fellas up there, and
don't want to give them any more advantage than they've already got.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, you got to be looking quarterback sneak or fullback dive right here up the middle.
Snyder under center. He's going to take the snap, and he's going to hand it off, and my goodness. That was a lineman right there that ran that thing in. What number was that truck?
They've been using 55 in the backfield a little bit. Keegan Kane, he's a 6', 200 fullback, offensive lineman and defensive lineman.
Yeah, so Kane with the 2-point conversion puts the Monroe Central Golden Bears up 8-7 with 7:38 left to go here in the first half.
Well, I just don't think, I thought that was a tough second quarter for Pioneer. I mean, you had the interference call. You score early in the second quarter, but then you had the interference call, and then you have the encroachment here at the end. And, I think, it's not a time to get, too scared, but you got to be calm and, figure out what's going to work for you. And hopefully Monroe Central can get those guys can get a little more tired, because I'm going to tell you, number 4 and most of that backfield of Pioneers probably not going to tire.
Well, we saw Monroe come right back and answer. Here's a little squib kick, and it's going to be handled. Gregorich is going to pick it up, and it's going to be down at the 40-yard line. They're going to start off. We talked about Monroe coming back and answering the touchdown by Pioneer. So now it's the Panthers' turn here. They got to come back and answer the touchdown from Monroe. Down 8-7 with 7:33 left here in the first.
We got 7:33 here, and Pioneer's going to come out in their wing T set, double wing, tight ends to the right.
They're going to hand it off to Llewellyn's going to try and get around the outside, and he gives a nice cut back into the end, and he gets it all the way down to the 45-yard line of Monroe Central. Big run, nice cutback that time by Llewellyn.
That's a good play. That's a play with, the wing T guys have been putting in for the last 15 years, the jet sweep play. It's a get in the way and let your athlete run kind of play, and you don't have to go up and, physically aggressively block people. And so that was a nice cutback too. Sometimes when you cut back in, you get some of the garbage coming in, or the guys pursuing from the inside like the linebackers, but nice cutback, good vision there.
That's a big 15-yard run by Llewellyn on first down, gets the Panthers onto Monroe's side of the field. Kaiser's going to send it up the middle. Gregorich, and he's going to get 4, looks like.
A little midline play there, and you can see Jack's checking away from the nose guard. And what that means to some people that maybe aren't familiar with football is the nose guard's probably usually going to play one A-gap or the other A-gap, and Jack's going to probably run it away from where the nose guard's sitting.
It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 6 here from the 41-yard line of Monroe Central. Kaiser under center. Llewellyn in short motion. He's going to give it to the – no,
Jack kept it on the midline play and getting up close to the first down marker.
I have a hard time reading that. It looked like he gave it to Gregorich, but last second he pulled it back out, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 2 here for the Panthers from the 37-yard line of Monroe.
There's some little wrinkles teams will add to the wing T playbook, and midlines of play that's a good complement to some of the things the wing T offense brings. And Jack's pretty good at running it. Number 4.
All right, 3rd and 2 here, and an official's timeout. Is that what that is? Got a player going off, number 33. I don't know if it's an injury.
Well, do what the pros do. You run at the guy that comes in and replaces him. So
looks like he might have some equipment issue or something right there. They're going to bring in...
usually you have to set out one play. That's the high school rule. And bring in a different player, and then he'll come right back in probably.
They're going to bring in a sophomore, Isaac Moles, 6 foot, 165, and they do run right at him. And there's Kaiser. He's breaking it loose, and he gets it all the way down to the 23, maybe 22-yard line on a big 3rd down run there by Jack. Looks like they're going to mark it at the 23.
Sometimes there's different tendencies as coaches that you're going to look for, and one might be you're going to run at a guy. You might think this guy's weaker, or you might run at the boundary, or your best lineman might be on one side or the other. And Pioneer's probably starting to find a side that they're liking more than the other.
Kaiser takes it out of the gun. He's going to go around the left side, and he's going to drag about 3 Golden Bears with him all the way down to the 10-yard line. He'll have another first down. It looks like first and goal here for the Panthers. So we talked about it, answering the touchdown, and they're doing a good job.
Well, you ride the horse that brung you, and Jack is carrying people down the field, and he's playing really well right now, and he's getting in his comfort zone, and he's getting not in his comfort zone, but he's getting in the zone a little bit, and I think he's getting more comfortable running against this defense.
First and goal here for the Panthers. Snap out of the gun. They're going off that left side again, and Kaiser's going to get there. He's not down, and he gets it down all the way, looks like maybe the 4-yard line. They're not going to bring him down with just one person right there. Kaiser fighting hard for the extra yards, and they're going to have a first and goal or second and goal now from the 4.
Jackson, unselfish player, but I think he's going to want the ball right here.
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely going to want to be the guy that's going after and carrying people into the end zone right now.
Kaiser under center. Got a receiver wide left. He's going to give it to Gregorich up the middle, and he's right at the line.
They didn't call that a touchdown, and
he's right at the line. It looks like maybe the 1-foot line there for Gregorich on that run. They're going to go quick here. Kaiser's going to probably take it right up the middle. He tries to go off center to the right, and I think he got stuffed maybe by number 70. Nope, he got in. Late call there on the touchdown. Kaiser got in. I thought he was short. Have you ever seen a call that late?
That was kind of late, and sometimes, you know, if I'm Kaiser right there, I'm going to start squirming and getting up front and as close as I can, because all you got to do is cross that 1 inch of that white line, and you're in. And this is not a time to chase points. This is a good choice to kick the PAT here.
All right, let's see if Nussbaum was affected by that running into the kicker after the last PAT. Nope, good to go. And the Panthers are back up top 14-8 with 3:47 left to go here in the first half. You're watching Pioneer Panther football on RTC4.com. And Channel 4 in Rochester. We'll be back here in just a moment with the kickoff.
Shepherd's Chevrolet Buick in Rochester is having the largest Black Friday sales event ever. $1,000 off all pre-owned vehicles, or receive employee pricing plus rebates on any new Chevrolet or Buick in stock. During this Black Friday event, Shepherd's is offering a free Christmas ham with every qualified test drive or qualified trade appraisal, and a free 40-inch 4K flat screen TV with the purchase of any vehicle over $5,000. That's only at Shepherd Chevrolet Buick in Rochester.
All right, welcome back here. Panthers answer the touchdown by Monroe Central. Take it in off of a 4-yard touchdown run that time, or actually it was a 1-yard touchdown run by Kaiser. Great job of answering the touchdown by Monroe Central. Panthers back up 14-8. We got 3:47 left to go here in the first half. We're coming to you live from Logansport High School, tonight's temporary home of the Pioneer Panthers. This is the North Semistate for Class A football. Casey Hines, 2000 Pioneer graduate, on the call with me here tonight.
That's really good to be here. I'm glad you guys came down, and I know we got a lot of people out there that support Pioneer football, and we're glad that we have this opportunity to webcast.
I'm enjoying it. The second time we got to game with you, and it's been great. The kickoff is taken at the 15, and he's going to be brought down at about the 19-yard line. That was Wilson on the return, and a good job of special teams there by the Panthers.
Sometimes I wish we had replay. There's two things I would like to replay tonight. That sack by 24, Danny Gregorich. And right there, Danny Gregorich, you tell you got people on the kickoff, their job is to destroy blocks, not go around them. And he decleated a kid right there and probably pushed him back about 5 yards. It's pretty fun to watch.
All right, so Monroe's going to start off the drive here at the 19-yard line. They're looking to answer the touchdown by the Panthers. They're going to go 2 backs in the backfield and hand off to the up back. And a short gain of about 4, it looks like. That's Wilson on the run.
I'd be very surprised if they don't go after, run some streaks down the field here against those young corners. I mean, you had an interference call earlier. You could tilt the field a little bit. And, you know, I'd be real surprised if they don't do that again.
They're going to give him 5 on that one. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 5. They're going from the gun, and they're going to go out to the left flat. And nice job of swarming to the ball there by the Panthers. It looks like they're going to stop him about 2 yards short.
That's the bubble screen, and your safeties and corners, and your linebackers got to fly. They got to pursue, but your safeties and corners got to get off blocks. They got to shed blocks. And, you know, I used to go to Purdue clinics and listen to Brock Spack, and one of the things that he liked to say was you got to destroy blocking schemes, and you got to learn how to use that flipper and rip underneath and get under, and that's a nice stop there by the Panthers.
All right, big 3rd and 1 here for the Golden Bears. They're going to go out of the gun. They got trips right to the left, and a nice job there on defense. That's number 68. Jonathan Beckley with a big play on defense, and that's going to bring up a 4th down here. Monroe's going to have to punt this with 2:23 left to go.
I thought
time.
They haven't moved the spot there. Okay, the down marker. I thought it was kind of close to the 1st down marker, but they moved it now, so it's going to be about a 4th and 5. Yeah, they're going to have to punt.
Yeah, this isn't a place where you can do 4 downs.
And if I'm correct, I think Pioneer has all their timeouts.
Yeah, nobody's used. I don't think either team has used the timeout.
You know, you go into, you know, your 2-minute offense, or your, you know, some teams call it their NASCAR offense. Sometimes you call 2 plays. You know, be ready to go if he's in bounds or, you know, if you throw the ball, then the clock stops, things like that. So you got to be ready. You got to be prepared here. And if I'm Pioneer, I think I'm going to bring the heat here. I'm going to bring the heat. I'm going after this ball. You got one earlier, and I think you could probably do it again. You just don't want a silly penalty going into half, so you got to be smart. But I think I'd be bringing it.
Well, that's, you know, coaching comes into that. You know, you attack the ball, not the leg.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to be smart. Where's the ball going to be when I get there? You don't want to attack the punter and then get a roughing the kicker penalty, because that would bring up a 1st down. So looks like they're going to drop back and do a return.
Not a very good kick.
It is not a good kick at all. It's going to go out of bounds on Monroe's side of the field, about the 45-yard line. Wow.
I think I'm going.
Actually, they're gonna mark it at the 43. So a terrible kick that time for Monroe Central, and that's a big break with 2 minutes left for the Panthers.
Well, if you're looking at a quick hitter play, I think the waggle play is open. I've always liked the waggle play, especially on the backside, which would be away from where the quarterback's rolling out. If you got a quarterback that can turn and throw it, usually you run your waggle play to the field side, but you don't want your quarterback, if he's rolling left, if he's right-handed usually. So looks like they're going to probably stick with their power play a little bit.
Kaiser up the middle, and he just gets brought down.
Shoestring tackle there.
That was a nice play by 58, Taft manship by Monroe. If he doesn't make that tackle, Kaiser's gone.
I think so.
He was going, and he just barely got him down as it was. So still a nice gain on 1st down for the Panthers. Going to bring up a 2nd down and about 4. Kaiser's going to keep. He gets around the outside, and he's going to get it down to about the 27. A little extra.
Got a little tangled there.
Yeah, a little extra after the fact there by Monroe.
And one of Jack's been a kid that's always been able to keep his head out there. And, you know, there's kids that see you're a D1 athlete. They're going to go after him. They're going to get in some things, and so they're going to get chippy. But Jack's done a nice job of being extremely.
All right, they got a penalty flag on the field. Kaiser stopped for no gain. We'll see. I didn't see anything. What did you?
I don't know.
What it might have been.
I heard the Pioneer coaches over here they kind of thought maybe it was going to be on
maybe a
MC
face
here.
Maybe a face mask.
Might have been.
Personal foul, face mask, so that's a big penalty for Monroe. It's going to give the Panthers 15 yards. Let's see, will that be half the distance from that point?
That's a good question. I like the momentum. I think Jack Kaiser and Danny Gregorich right now, Jack on offense and Danny on defense, are kind of playing at another level. They're bringing it right now to a very good Monroe Central team.
All right, they're going to spot the ball at the 19-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Panthers. Minute 25 left to go here in the first half. Panthers lead 14-8 over Monroe Central. Got motion to the right. Kaiser's going to keep it. Nice lead block there by Gregorich. Kaiser is not going to be brought down by 1. He gets it all the way down. It looks like about the 5-yard line.
That play looked like it went outside a little more than normal, like it's designed. And you know what I like right now? It's taking 3 guys to bring down Jack Kaiser. 3 to 4 guys almost every play.
2nd and 1, and they're going to give it right up the middle. And he's going to get it all the way down. Is that Gregorich?
Gregorich, yeah, and he's a power back. He's almost become a straight up the middle power back this year. And, he's 200 pounds.
And the Panthers are going to go quick here. 1st and goal here from the 1, and they're going to give it right back to Gregorich. And he's going to get stuffed, it looks like, short of the goal line.
These refs are getting tested a little bit on these close calls here.
It's going to be a timeout for the Panthers with 31.3 seconds left to go. Knocking on the door again. We're going to take a break and be right back here in just a moment. You're watching RTC4.com and Channel 4 in Rochester.
At First Federal Savings Bank, we can help you remodel your home, consolidate debt, or even provide some spending cash for you with our home equity line of credit.
Our standard home equity line of credit allows borrowers to draw funds for up to 10 years and comes with no closing costs for qualified customers.
Take advantage of this great opportunity. Contact one of our experienced mortgage lenders or apply online at firstfederalbanking.com.
And remember, we don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best bank.
All right, welcome back. 31.3 seconds left here in the first half. Pioneers knocking on the door again. They're already up 14-8. They are on about the 1-inch line right now with a 2nd down and goal.
You noticed something a couple weeks ago when you came, and I think they might be able to pull it out of the hat here, is when Jack leaned underneath the center and did that sneak play.
Well, he's going to keep it high, and he's going to get in. Touchdown, Pioneer Panthers. 20-8 with the PAT yet to come here for the Panthers. And the 3rd time we've seen the fireworks going off here in the first half. So Panthers march it right down the field and take it off of the really bad punt. I mean, that's all you can say.
Oh,
yeah, 45-yard line. You know, they only had to go 45 yards.
That tilted the field definitely, and I think when you got Jack playing with another gear, that helps. And Pioneers used to those old school H posts here. Now you got the nice upgraded posts here at Logansport, and but this has not been an easy game.
Oh no,
man, it's been a battle.
Yeah,
it really has. It's a fun game. It's a brain boggler because as a coach you're saying, all right, what's working? You're talking to your players. You're trying to get a feel from them. Who can I block? Where are we weaker? Who can we, what's the better way to run at? Who's the person we can pick on a little bit? And right now, when you have a team like Pioneer that's been here before, they've been here before. A lot of these guys have been here.
Oh, yeah.
And they have come to play, and they had a little momentum shift in the second quarter, and now they're coming back with that firepower. And number 4 is showing what true leadership means right now for the Pioneer Panthers.
Yeah, and that's going to play the key part. You've kind of wore down the big boys up front from Monroe Central, and Kaiser's been able to get into that second level, and the the big play was the punt, you know, the field position that they started with on that last drive. And you can really feel the momentum shifted here in the, well, really at the start of the second quarter when they got that first touchdown. The kick is fielded at the 15, and it's going to be brought across and brought down at about the 26-yard line. So the Monroe Central Golden Bears, with 20 seconds left to go here in the first half, have a long way to go if they're going to try and get another touchdown on the board here before halftime.
Well,
they will get the ball coming out of the half, right?
Pioneer gets the ball. You're going to be you got Coach Greg Rich, defensive coordinator, jumping up and down because, you know, they're still going to come out here and sling it around. They're not going to go in take a knee by any means, and so you got to make sure you're aligned correctly in your defensive backfield.
Trips right. We got one receiver to the left, and nothing doing. And he is able to get the completion down to the 49-yard line. That's a big pass play to Nick Mitchell.
That was a nice play there, and the quarterback had to actually feel the pocket presence of the defensive lineman breathing down his back and made a nice step up there and made a nice throw.
20-yard gain on the play. 11.8 left here. The Pioneers just kind of doing a little prevent. They still have 53 yards to go.
Looks like they're going to bring 24, Danny Gregorich, off the edge.
Knatzer is out of the gun. He's got receiver open on the left, but not able to get it there. It hits at the 40, and the receiver was at the 35. So with 6.5 seconds left, it's probably going to bring up the last play of the first half here for the Golden Bears.
And I tell you, I like the aggressiveness that Pioneers bring in tonight. They're not sitting back. They're bringing 24, Danny Gregorich, off the edge. And they're playing some deep coverage right now. Looks like they're going to go at a 3-safety look, make sure nothing gets over their heads. No linebackers, really. They're just going to have to play.
Knatzer's going to let it go. And there's 3 Panthers right there, and it's going to be picked off by Llewellyn. And he might. He's at the 40, and he gets down. Time runs out. Oh, he almost had that all the way to the house. Nice return there by Llewellyn. Shoestring tackle brought him down at the 37-yard line, and that's going to bring us into the half. Pioneer Panthers lead 21-8 after one half of play here. They're looking to go back down to Lucas Oil Field, and after one half, they're doing a pretty good job of getting started at that. We're going to be back here with second half action in just a minute. You're watching RTC4.com, Channel 4 in Rochester, and you're watching on the ISC network.
I don't think of this as a high school weight room. It's more like a high school classroom. I'm learning how to manage my time here. I'm learning that it's important to have goals and that it takes persistence and commitment to reach them. And I'm learning that the best way to lead is by example.
Indiana High School Sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Protect yourself from personal attack on campus, in the home, at the mall, or wherever you are. Blue Dragon Taekwondo in Rochester is offering a self-defense boot camp so that you have the basic skills to protect yourself in an attack. Blue Dragon is the area's leading martial arts facility. Master instructor Dave Colger and his team welcome new participants and those seeking to learn the basic self-defense techniques. Contact Blue Dragon Taekwondo today to learn more about this exciting self-defense boot camp. Over the past few years, RTC TV4 has produced over 1,800 local videos about you, your family, your friends, your neighbors. Now all of these videos are available at the click of a mouse on our website, rtc4.com. Log on today to see all of our great coverage of sporting events, school programs, public meetings, and more. RTC TV4 and rtc4.com. See for yourself.
Got that new home edition and you're keeping it covered.
Ooh, coverages now. I can help with this. Got zone coverage, man coverage, combo coverages.
I don't know, Peyton. I think more like the coverage your nationwide agent offers.
Oh, you want to go there? Home, auto, life, business, farm, boat, RV, ATV, camper, pet, motorcycle, your tour bus. Did I mention farm?
Contact Jennings Insurance Agency today or visit one of our offices in Argus and Rochester.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Simplify your banking with a Simply Free checking account from First Federal Savings Bank.
All it takes is a $50 opening deposit. There's no minimum balance requirement and no service fees.
For a limited time, you'll also receive a free gift just for opening a checking account.
And with Instant Issue, we can give you a debit card when you open your account, giving you immediate access to your funds.
Simply Free checking from First Federal Savings Bank, a simpler way to bank.
And remember, we don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best bank.
Show your Panther pride this year by supporting the Pioneer Athletic Boosters. Your contribution to the Boosters helps fund athletic awards, letter jackets, uniforms, equipment, and more. We are the small but mighty Pioneer Panthers. Keep Panther pride alive for years to come. Support the Pioneer Athletic Boosters. Send your contribution to Pioneer High School, attention Athletic Boosters, or call Christy Rance for more information. Go Panthers!
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just...
Come and see me play.
I don't think of this as a high school weight room. It's more like a high school classroom. I'm learning how to manage my time here. And that it's important to have goals and that it takes persistence and commitment to reach them. And I'm learning that the best way to lead is by example.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Got that new home edition and you're keeping it covered.
Ooh, coverages now. I can help with this. Got zone coverage, man coverage, combo coverages.
I don't know, Peyton. I think more like the coverage your nationwide agent offers.
Oh, you want to go there? Home, auto, life, business, farm, boat, RV, ATV, camper, pet, motorcycle, your tour bus. Did I mention farm?
Contact Jennings Insurance Agency today or visit one of our offices in Argus and Rochester. Show your Panther pride this year by supporting the Pioneer Athletic Boosters. Your contribution to the Boosters helps fund athletic awards, letter jackets, uniforms, equipment, and more. We are the small but mighty Pioneer Panthers. Keep Panther pride alive for years to come. Support the Pioneer Athletic Boosters. Send your contribution to Pioneer High School, attention Athletic Boosters, or call Christy Rance for more information. Go Panthers!
Well, we're back here with you. Scott Sager joining you now. I want to thank Steve Stricker for coming down and doing an excellent job on his call tonight, along with Casey Hines from Pioneer. Both guys doing great work for you here tonight. They've been studying their stats all week, and that's really coming into play as they call a great game for you here from Logansport High School. Pioneer leading 21-8 with about 8 minutes left in our halftime. We'll be back in a few moments to show you that second half. Want to get a special shout out to a couple folks. We've got J.C. Utter running tech for us tonight, and he's doing a great job. If you're on our website, you see we've got 3 live games. We had Caston girls taking on Rossville in their basketball match tonight, and the Tippecanoe Valley Lady Vikings taking on their rival Warsaw tonight as well. But I'm with you down here. Again, Scott Sager running the crew with Steve Stricker, Casey Hines, and Wade Langley on camera. We're bringing you some Pioneer special coverage football today. Hopefully you're enjoying that. Again, from Logansport. Saw some pictures of the field over there at Pioneer, and yeah, they've taken on some water playing 3 games in a row here between their sectional championship regionals and Semistate. So it was a good thing to get him over here on the turf. It's paying off for him right now as they lead 21-8. So we'll be back with second half action here in a few moments. Want to encourage everybody, as always, to please support those that support these local broadcasts. We can't do it without them. And, of course, that all starts with our parent company, RTC Fiber Communications. So we'll spin an ad for them.
Slow download, constant buffering, Wi-Fi dead zone? Let RTC help. The customer support team at RTC Communications is here to help you with your internet connectivity.
Hi, I'm Bonnie, one of the support team members here at RTC. For a small fee, RTC offers a Wi-Fi health check where we will evaluate your in-home Wi-Fi network and assist you with common issues. See what RTC can do for you. Give us a call today.
All right, welcome back. And we're at the half here from Logansport. The Panthers lead 21-8. Casey Hines here, and Steve Stricker with Casey Hines. And Casey got some halftime stats here for us.
Yeah, I was looking out here, and you were talking about rain earlier. Where'd it go?
I don't know. It was here for the national anthem, and then it kind of went away. And it's been a great night here. The weather's been awesome.
Let's talk some stats here. And right now, I have really enjoyed calling this game with you and RTC coming down and helping us out, because it's just been a really good, fun game. I mean, it's just neck and neck, and then Pioneers kind of busted away here in the second quarter. Right now, Monroe Central has 118 yards total, 31 yards rushing, and that's what we talked about at the beginning of the game. Pioneer does really well defending the run, and so Casey Canaster, 6 for 13. He's got a touchdown and an interception and 87 yards passing. Wyatt Snyder's caught 2. Got a touchdown reception. Cameron Caldwell had that 1 catch for 37 yards. And Seth Wilson, 5 carries for 15 yards. And let's look at Pioneer stats a little bit. Jack Kaiser, really Pioneer has not thrown the ball at all. They haven't connected with any passes tonight. And Jack Kaiser's rushed the ball 16 times for 133 yards, and he's got 3 touchdowns. Danny Grigorich has rushed 8 times for 18 yards. Ezra Llewellyn ran the jet sweep play. He's had a nice gain, but he's ran the ball twice for 18 yards. And Matt Nussbaum's got 3 point-after touchdowns. So right now at the half, we got 21-8. Monroe Central did go for 2. They don't kick PATs. And so they went, and then Pioneer got the encroachment call on that 2-point conversion. So they kind of had an easy little push to get in there to get that 2-point conversion. Pioneer's going to get the ball coming out in the half, and right now I think you're looking at a Pioneer team that's kind of got the momentum right now, and it's fun to watch because of how hard they're playing. You know what I mean?
Yep.
To me, they're playing with a lot of fire and a lot of passion, and when it's taken 3 Golden Bears of Monroe Central to bring down Jack Kaiser, you know you're playing with some intensity.
Yeah, Kaiser's going to have to get some help. Grigorich has been doing a good job running up the gut. They're going to have to get Llewellyn going on that jet sweep, I think, here in the second half. Let's see what the adjustments are made here. Coach Hostetler from Monroe Central, he's been doing this a long time.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to look at a 21-8 halftime score and say, okay, let's just go home. He's going to make some adjustments, and it's going to be a matter of what adjustments they make, what adjustments the Panthers make, and how they go here in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
I want to give a shout out to my buddy Grant Montgomery and his family. They're watching at home there and just west of town here. They didn't want to get out in the cold, but appreciate those guys tuning in. We appreciate everybody tuning in. We got some really good numbers going on right now with viewers and everything, and this is fun. You said you appreciate us coming. I appreciate you asking us to come because this is fun. The LCC game was great, but it was kind of a blowout. And this right here, this is smash mouth Class A, big time football here. And this is what you want. Everything's on the line. The winner goes down to Indianapolis next week. The loser goes home, and their season's over. So you want a good smash mouth game, and right now we're getting it.
Well, and I think sometimes in the big city, and I was listening to the Indianapolis Talk Radio today, and sometimes the 1A teams get kind of lost in the shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
And, we don't have, 6 or 7 or 8 guys going D1, but we are there's a lot of well-coached, sound, fundamental teams, and they play really good football. And I know a few years ago, Pioneer went down in 2014, and they lost by a point. And I emailed the Indianapolis Star, and I said, how come there was no write-up about the best game at the state finals? And they said, well, it doesn't really push the numbers. And I'm like, that was the best game at the state finals. It was a 1-point game. It came down to the wire. And in '97, when Pioneer went down, and I was on that team, Coach Johnson took us down there, and Coach Brock, there was a big write-up in the Indianapolis Star. And I don't like the fact sometimes that 1A football doesn't get the respect that it should. And but right now you're seeing, live how good 1A football can be in every part of the state of Indiana.
All right, here we go. Second half getting set to go. The Golden Bears will get the ball to start the second half. So Pioneer's going to be kicking off. We'll see. This is going to be a big test here, this first drive of the second half. Let's see what the Pioneer defense can do against a Monroe Central team that they're going to come out. They're going to have a strategy coming out of the halftime. I'm sure Coach Hostetler went over a lot of different things with them at the half. And let's see what changes are made here on both sides of the ball.
Well, if I'm Coach Hostetler, I'm not. But, I think I got to start running some down the field, more stretching out the defense and go back to the passing game. But I think you made a good point earlier when you said I'm not sure Casey Canaster looks himself right now, because David Gregorich, or not David, Danny Gregorich has got him, hit him pretty hard a couple times. And so we'll see what they do, but they're definitely a well-coached team. And I apologize because I thought Pioneer was getting the football.
Yeah, they got the kick at the beginning. But, if David Gregorich hits the quarterback, we might be in trouble.
Yeah.
All right, so the kickoff return is going to be brought down short of the 25-yard line. Yeah, they're going to mark it right at the 25 to start the second half. Golden Bears have the ball. 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. So that's where we're going to start here. We've got 24 minutes of football here between a trip to Indianapolis or a trip home. Let's see who's going where.
Going to come out in trips down here to the field. Ball's on the left hash here. So we'll see if they come out. Oh, they're going empty basically, and they're widening him out. So be prepared. I'm going to look right here at the bottom of your screen, 23, and see how he matches up against Ezra Llewellyn here.
All right, so they're going to come out throwing on first down, and a couple pump fakes there by Canaster, and he's not able to find anybody. And bring up a 2nd and 10.
Well, Pioneer got in his face a little bit, and they kind of left their feet. I'm not a big fan of kids leaving their feet much in football because some dangerous things can happen, but Pioneer got in the backfield and pressured him, and he had to do a couple pump fakes there. But it looks like they're going to come out throwing. They're going empty again pretty much, double wing and twins down here to the bottom side.
All right, they're going to do a little shuffle pass, and it's going to go for about 2 yards. And nice defensive reaction there by the Panthers. Trying to do something a little different right there, a little shuffle pass to the motion man coming across, and the Panthers were able to sniff it out and hold them to a gain of looks like about just a little under 3 yards.
Well, those are plays that are hard to defend, and Pioneer kind of made it look easy there. They take some definite coaching there. It looks like Pioneer's going to go a little different. Maybe some man coverage here, it looks like.
3rd and 6. He's got a man across the middle, and it's a good defensive play by Kaiser. And that was number 3 right there. That was Kinley. Kinley and Kaiser right there on the convergence, and they forced the incompletion. And so a 3 and out here for Monroe to start the second half.
I don't want to run in the middle of the field when Jack Kaiser's back there teeing off, man. I just wouldn't do it.
Yeah, that's not a, for a receiver, that's not a good sight to see. Number 4, there's a bad snap and then another short punt. It's not even going to make it to the 50, go out of bounds, and that's another good start here for the Panthers. They're going to start on Monroe's side of the field at the 45 with their first drive of the second half.
Well, I thought maybe they would come out kind of throwing more down the field, picking on the Llewellyn boys a little bit because of the height issue. Now, when they come out and they're thrown in the middle of the field, I think that's kind of Jack Kaiser's like, all right, I'll just tee off and lay some wood here, bring the wood.
All right, so Kaiser's going to give it to Llewellyn. He's trying to get around the outside to the left and gets a couple yards there. Nice big pop there by Monroe after a gain of about 2 for Llewellyn. Just not able to get it outside and turn it upfield for any kind of yardage.
Actually, that was a really nice play there, kind of filling the alley there. by number 2, Wyatt Snyder, and he's a 5'10 senior, and he's 175 pounds, and he's coming downhill, and they got some pretty good-looking athletes over there. On when you look at when you get past the big guys on the defensive line, they got some good-looking athletes out there playing defensive back and receiver and running back and quarterback there.
Yeah, Snyder's kind of a do-it-all kind of a player. There's Kaiser. He's going to get up the middle for a couple, get it to the 40-yard line here. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 5.
And what you're doing on that play, and that's a play that's kind of become more popular, kind of the old Vince Young at Texas, and then some teams are doing it now. Deshaun Watson did it. It's called the power read play. And the quarterback's reading the player on the defense. And what it does is it kind of stretches those linebackers out, and so they don't get as good of a run fits as they normally do.
Kaiser's going to look to throw, and he's going to pull it down, and he's going to get ahead, and he's going to get the 1st down. He's going to get to about the 33-yard line, it looks like, and it's going to be a 1st down for the Panthers. And the drive continues here. 34 is where they're going to put it down.
Well, I tell you what I feel much better about is the defense coming out and playing really solid and getting that 3 and out. And now this 1st down, and that was a great run there by cutting it up by Jack Kaiser, and basically getting 1 foot past the 10-yard the 1st down marker. So I think it's a good strategy. Take your time, move the chains. Don't give them the opportunity to get the ball and start throwing it down the field.
Yeah, if they can march down here and put a touchdown in, that's going to put the pressure big time. And here's Kaiser. He's looking to throw. Can't find anybody downfield, and he's going to get drove out of bounds, maybe a gain of 1.
Seth Wilson, junior, 6-foot junior, those guys are really good tacklers coming off the edge and inside-out pursuit and doing a nice job there.
It looked like he might have had somebody open for just a split second, but as you're rolling off to your left, a right-handed quarterback, that's a tough throw to make, and he was probably 15, 20 yards downfield, and I don't think Kaiser felt comfortable letting that one go. And it's a smart move, too, because you're up 21-8.
Yeah.
You don't want to risk it.
Exactly.
So 2nd down and 9 here. Kaiser under center. Puts a man in motion, and he's going to give it on the inside handoff, and Llewellyn gets drilled by number 5, Seth Wilson.
Well, I think what you got to do, we got a guy down here from Monroe Central. Official timeout. To me, it's a little bit difficult to run the Llewellyn boys inside. I mean, these are really big boys that take up a lot of space, and it's hard to get off the ball movement with your offensive line.
All right, we got an injury on the field. We'll take a timeout and come back here in just a minute.
Shepherd Chevrolet Buick in Rochester is having the largest Black Friday sales event ever. Take $1,000 off all pre-owned vehicles or receive employee pricing plus rebates on any new Chevrolet or Buick in stock. During this Black Friday event, Shepherd's is offering a free Christmas ham with every qualified test drive or qualified trade appraisal, and a free 40-inch 4K flat screen TV with the purchase of any vehicle over $5,000. That's only at Shepherd Chevrolet Buick in Rochester.
At First Federal Savings Bank, we can help you remodel your home, consolidate debt, or even provide some spending cash for you with our home equity line of credit.
Our standard home equity line of credit allows borrowers to draw funds for up to 10 years and comes with no closing costs for qualified customers.
Take advantage of this great opportunity. Contact one of our experienced mortgage lenders or apply online at firstfederalbanking.com.
And remember, we don't want to be the biggest bank.
All right, the injured player was number 54, Kobe Brown, 5'8", 224 senior. He's off. We've got a 3rd and 8 now here for the Panthers. Kaiser's up under center. And we have...
Looked like we had a sideline warning. That's what I'm hearing up here.
All right.
Some people get a little animated on the sidelines. I used to be one of those, but then I calmed down.
All right, so 3rd and 8, clock running, 9:11 left here in the 3rd. Kaiser kind of jab steps and see where they spot him. He's right there at the 1st down marker. I think it's going to be enough, Casey.
Oh, he tiptoed that line. I think he got it. Come on.
They've got it right at the 24. And it is. It's a first down for the Panthers. Big run on 3rd and 8 for Jack Kaiser.
That's kind of that's the waggle play, and it's kind of an RPO run pass option, and the quarterback will start kind of hollering at the guards, and he cuts it up. And that was just a great play there, and he got out of a tackle, and nice play there by Jack Kaiser.
Yeah, they had him at about 5 yards, and he was able to get broke free. And there's another handoff. Llewellyn's going to go off the left side. And nice job fighting for extra yardage there by Llewellyn. And he's going to get about 3 on the carry. 5'6", 141-pound Ezra Llewellyn, and he was fighting hard.
Those guys are pure muscle. I mean, I think in the summer they don't know what a shirt is, so they're always walking around town, and those guys are just built.
So they're going to give him 2 yards. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 8. Kaiser out of the pistol, motion man, and he's going to keep it going around the right side. He's going to break loose, and he's going to get in for the touchdown, Panthers. 22-yard touchdown run off the right side for Jack Kaiser, and that's what we needed. We stop him on 3 and out, and we go in and score the touchdown, and it's 27-8 now with the PAT coming up.
Well, you give the ball to your playmaker there, and he just made a nice play on the outside. He got some great blocks on the edge there that kind of gave him the extra boost to get in. And to me, you're earning every single yard against a really well-coached Monroe Central team.
All right, so the extra point, Nussbaum lined up to kick it. Snap is down, kick is up, and it's good. 28-8 now with 8:18 left to go in the third. And, you know, the little runs to Gregorich and Llewellyn aren't getting a whole lot for them as far as yardage goes, but that's really taking their attention off of Kaiser a little bit. And so they go left with Llewellyn, and all of a sudden he goes out to the right and is able to break it free. So they got to keep doing that, you know, in order to take the attention off of Jack a little bit. And then Jack is really driving the thing home with the big runs.
Well, and another point is these are really tough plays to defend. And when you have a lot of guys at the point of attack, and you got good down blocks and kick out blocks, and you got, okay, in this offense, you have to have running backs that are willing to block linebackers, defensive ends, safeties, get out in the field, and they gotta be blocking. And you saw in that play, you got a receiver blocking downfield, and if that receiver doesn't make that block, then Jack gets stopped. And so you got guys that are all buying in and making plays and blocking down the field.
All right, 8:18 left to go here in the third. 28-8 is your score. Panthers in front, and they're kicking off here for the second time here in the second half.
Well, I like playing here. We get a lot of fireworks.
Yeah.
They're putting on a nice show over there across the street.
They are, and the kick by Llewellyn, and it's fielded just past the 20. And a nice little run back right there by the senior. He's going to get it across the 35 to about the 37-yard line. That's Snyder on the return. And pretty decent field position here for Monroe Central to start off this second drive here of the second half. So they're going to call him down at the 30, well, let's just say 35. To start this drive.
Well, I like the way Pioneers defense has been playing most of the night. And, you know, that's a big offensive line. We've talked about them a lot. But when you use your hands and you attack and you use your technique, then you're going to be well coached. That helps.
Shotgun, they got a guy going deep, and it's caught. And Llewellyn gets caught out of position, and they're going to go in, and he gets him down. Good closing speed that time by Adai Llewellyn, but big play there for Monroe Central all the way down to Pioneer's 5-yard line.
See, I thought that was something they might go to a little sooner coming out from the half.
That was Israel Nash, the 5'11" senior for Monroe Central with the big gainer.
I think some of the Pioneer coaches might have thought he had a push-off there, but, you know, they don't call it. They didn't call it, you know.
It was a 60-yard play there for the Golden Bears, and they're knocking on the door at the 5-yard line. And they play out to the flat, and it's going to be snuffed out by the Panthers for a loss of about 2 back to the 7-yard line.
I think at this point in the game, you like to see the clock keep moving, you know, complete, even if they complete the pass or they run the ball. You don't want the clock stopping. You got to keep it moving, and that's a nice pursuit of the ball there out on the edge by the Panthers. Don't count this Monroe Central team out. I mean, they got some players. They got some cats out there playing.
No, and when you get 60 yards at a clip right there, that's going to be able to put, and there's a big tackle that time. They go with the big back, Keegan Kane, and he's going to get stopped maybe back to the original line of scrimmage at the 5-yard line. Not even quite to the 5. It's going to bring up 3rd down and goal from just outside of the 5 here for the Monroe Central Golden Bears.
They kind of have what we call like a heavy formation. They bring in their bigger guys, and they kind of go more of a power type set.
Monroe Central calls a timeout with 6:30 left to go here in the 3rd. They're going to talk it over. They're knocking on the door with a 3rd down and goal from just outside the 5-yard line. We're going to take a break. Be back here with more action from Logan Sport High School. You're watching RTC4.com and Channel 4 in Rochester.
I don't think of this as a high school weight room. It's more like a high school classroom. I'm learning how to manage my time here. I'm learning that it's important to have goals and that it takes persistence and commitment to reach them. And I'm learning that the best way to lead is by example.
Indiana High School Sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
All right, here we go. Coming off of a timeout by the Golden Bears. They've got a 3rd down and goal to go from just outside of the 5-yard line. They're going to line up, like you said. They got their heavy package in. They go 2 tights, and they're going to pull it out. They're looking for the guy out in the flat. Good job there by the Panthers to defense that. And he's in some trouble. He's going to be brought down, but a big sack there at the 20-yard line.
62, Garrett Schroeder on the sack there.
I tell you what, that was a great job that time by the Panthers defense. He had a man, you saw what they were doing. They were looking for that guy going to that post route or corner route, and they snuffed that out early, and they made the quarterback, Conister, he was just lost. He didn't have any choice but to take the sack, and that's going to bring a 4th and 20 now for the Golden Bears. And I tell you what, 60-yard pass play, get it down to the 5-yard line, you hold them.
Yeah,
that's big.
That's big, and that's a play I saw them run at the goal line versus Sheridan. It kind of gave Sheridan some problems, but you know, I think here you got to throw it to your athlete. If you're Monroe Central, you got to throw it to your athlete and try to. What we got to delay a game, another penalty. So
all right, so they're going to move back all the way. They started this 1st and goal from the 5, and now they're going to have 4th and goal now from the 25-yard line. Let's see what they can do. This is good situation here for the Panthers. They've moved them all the way back 20 yards from where they started with the 1st down.
Looks like Pioneers going to kind of a 3 defensive back safety set, and
Canaster's going to look, and he's going to get taken out from behind, and a pick. Bringing it back. He's got it. Good return right there. He's going to, breaks it loose. Nice return there by Kaiser on the pick, and he's going to get it all the way down to the 38-yard line of the Golden Bears. So you go from a 1st and goal at the 5-yard line to a 4th and 25. Interception by Kaiser, and Panthers are back in business on Monroe Central's.
Well, I think any fan in the stands kind of knew what they were probably going to do there on a 4th and 25. You're going to throw it in the end zone to one of your athletes and hope they get a jump ball.
Right.
And but I'm not sure Casey Canaster's been hit like this, and Pioneer's just been popping him pretty good right now.
So the Panthers will take over at the 38-yard line on Monroe Central's side of the field. Kaiser's looking out, and an out route, and it's defensed well there by Monroe Central.
Usually when you got a flag in the backfield like that, it's probably a hold. Yep.
Holding, so 10 yards backwards here for Pioneer. Kaiser was looking for Kinley out there on the out route.
Boy, you hit the nail on the head with the, you got the 60-yard gain there, and then you stuff them and get the pick and run back, and wow, really kind of a shift in momentum, because you felt like Monroe Central was getting the momentum a little bit, and Pioneer, Jack Kaiser, I mean, he's came to play. Like we were saying earlier, he just almost plays better in big games.
Well, you mentioned it right there. That hit on Canaster is what caused that. That throw kind of sailed up in the air, and it gave Kaiser a chance to get underneath it. And he's been popped hard about 4 times, and he's going to be feeling it for a while. Kaiser under center, and he's going to give the inside handoff. And a big-time run that time by Llewellyn. He gets all the way down to the 25-yard line. We thought he couldn't run through the middle. Well, boy, he went right up the gut right that time.
I'm not necessarily blaming him. Sometimes when you got big beef in front of you, you got to move it. And these guys, the Llewellyn boys, have gotten better, like we talked about, from getting through arm tackles. But that was a great down block and kick-out block by the offensive line. And those are wing T, line blocking, shoulder skill things that they work on every single day.
That was a 29-yard gain there up the gut by Ezra Llewellyn. And the Panthers, after the holding penalty, one play, they get that back in the first down. And there's another big run by Gregorich. He gets bent back after the whistle, no flag, and he gets it down to the 20. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 4.
Just a little trap play there, a nice little gain. Take that every time. 6-yard gain on a trap play, and
yeah, you do the math. That adds up well.
It does, and then and you're in a position right now where you don't really have to pass. You're moving the ball well. You're in 4-down territory, and you can do some things here to kind of milk the clock a little bit.
Well, this is a couple times up the gut, and then you get Kaiser pop him outside. And there they go again with Llewellyn, and he's going to get a 1st down right up the middle. And things are starting to open up in the middle for the Panthers right now. Llewellyn, a couple nice runs. Gregorich gets 5. We got a Panther down. That's number 68. Beckley, 5'6", 214-pound sophomore. He's down. Injury timeout here on the field. We'll take a break and come back here in just a moment.
Over the past few years, RTC TV4 has produced over 1,800 local videos about you, your family, your friends, your neighbors. Now all of these videos are available at the click of a mouse on our website, rtc4.com. Log on today to see all of our great coverage of sporting events, school programs, public meetings, and more. RTC TV4 and rtc4.com. See for yourself.
Got that new home edition and you're keeping it covered.
Ooh, coverages now. I can help with this. Got zone coverage, man coverage, combo coverages.
I don't know, Peyton. I think more like the coverage your nationwide agent offers.
Oh, you want to go there. Home, auto, life, business, farm, boat, RV, ATV, camper, pet, motorcycle, your tour bus. Did I mention farm?
Contact Jennings Insurance Agency today or visit one of our offices in Argus and Rochester.
All right, welcome back here. That's a 1st and 10 for the Panthers from the 19-yard line. The injured player Beckley was helped off the field. Kaiser under center. Nice inside handoff, and that's a nice run that time by Von Tobel. And he's going to get ahead to the, looks like about the 6-yard line.
That was just a smart play there by a veteran quarterback because he saw that the Monroe Central defensive line's strength was to the right side, and then he said, all right, we're going to check out, and that's why you see the little adjustment in the backfield, and they're in power the other way, and they knew because they had a numbers advantage. And so those are check with me plays, or audibles, some people call them, and nice job there by Miles Von Tobel and Jack Kaiser.
Brings up a 2nd down and 2 from just outside the 5 for the Panthers. Kaiser's going to keep it, and he's going to be brought down. I don't think he quite got enough for the first. Looked like they did a nice job of snuffing that one out. They're going to put him right at the 5, so that'll bring up a 3rd down and 1. Clock still running, Casey. That's very important, like you said. Keep that clock running.
Yeah, and Jack kind of got bottled up there a little bit, and if you get this one in, I think you start feeling a little bit better about things. But you still got a full quarter to play, and I've seen some crazy things in football.
Yeah, you don't feel 100% comfortable until the clock says 0-0. And there's a nice stop on 3rd down, and that's number 58 for Monroe Central.
And I think they got the ball.
They fumble it?
I thought they did, but I never got a full call from the referee. But that's what they're calling it, looks like, because Monroe Central's offense coming out there.
That was only 3rd down, wasn't it? It wasn't 4th down, was it?
No, it was 3rd down, but
so
they must have he fumbled at some point on that carry, but I never saw the ref point the hand the other direction. So,
all right, so fumble. 2nd turnover of the game for the Panthers, but it puts the Monroe Central Golden Bears starting off at the 5-yard line. And there's a bobbled handoff, and he's going to try and get outside. That's number 23 for the Golden Bears, Cameron Caldwell.
Well, they're going to get in their power set right here, kind of close to the goal line. A lot of teams don't like rolling their quarterback out in case of a safety or something. So they're going to stay under center with their quarterback, Canaster.
All right, 2nd down and 6 from the 9. And there's a ball. The ball's on the ground, and it's going to be down at the 2. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and about 13 now.
Those are always tricky because Pioneer comes up with the ball, and then the ref says Monroe Central has it. So, but I guess it's when you're holding the ball and your knee hits the ground. So it's a judgment call with the ref.
So big 3rd down play here for the Panthers. 3rd and 13 from the 2-yard line. Monroe Central's backed up against their own end zone.
I bet the Pioneer defense is saying, Coach, let's bring it. Let's bring it here. And so they're in that big, heavy formation right now.
They're just going to try and get out of the end zone. That was kind of a strange little pitch play right there by Monroe Central, and it only goes for a couple.
It's a kind of a pin toss play is what they call that, where you kind of pitch it and your back's going, and your quarterback almost becomes a lead blocker, and just didn't really look good from the start.
Well, we saw Monroe Central having some punting issues throughout the game, so Kaiser's going to go back to about the 35-yard line of the Golden Bears, and not anticipating, and it's even shorter than that, and it doesn't even make it just barely past, and it's going to go out of bounds short of the 25-yard line. So excellent starting field position here once again for the Panthers. Just about through the 3rd quarter, 28-8 is your score. Panthers are going to have the ball 1st and 10 from Monroe Central's 24-yard line.
Well, you don't want to see, you kind of things kind of worked out, I guess. I mean, you fumble at the 2, then you make some pretty good stops there. But right now I think you really got to get your confidence back and punch one in here so you can feel a little bit more comfortable with this game.
1st and 10, starting off at the 24-yard line. Kaiser is out of the pistol. He's going to bring motion across to the right. He goes for the inside handoff. Llewellyn's got the edge, and Llewellyn's going to take it to the house. And a nice cut back there for the touchdown, Ezra Llewellyn.
They're
calling him down?
I don't know. The side judge called him down.
Oh, he was in the end zone by a yard. I don't know how they can call that down, but they're going to somebody needs to tell him across the road that apparently he didn't get in. But
did they call it? No, they did call it a touchdown.
I didn't.
Did you see that? I've not seen the referees raise their arms or make decisions on. They've called a lot of 1-inch plays at the goal line, but wow.
Okay, so he does get in the end zone. Llewellyn with a 24-yard touchdown run. And, yeah, that was weird. I did not see a signal saying that there was a touchdown on that one at all. And the extra point gets through. And the Panthers are up 35-8 with 16.7 seconds left here in the third quarter. We're going to take a break and come back here with the kickoff in just a minute.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana high school sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
All right, the heavens have opened up here, and the rain is coming down. You can see the crowd getting geared up. It looks like they're getting a little bit across some umbrellas getting across our scoreboard cam here for a second. That just came down like a sheet, didn't it?
It did, and you could just see it coming down on the lights, and that's when I think my lucky stars, I'm up here in this booth right now. So,
all right, so the kickoff is fielded and misfielded at the 15. And nice little return back to about the 32-yard line by Seth Wilson. And Wilson's a little slow getting up. He got popped pretty good. Gets it across the 30 to the 32. That's where the Golden Bears will start their next drive.
Well, we got the paper guy coming up here out of the rain, and you know these 14 to 18-year-olds down here playing. They don't care. They're still having fun.
Oh yeah. This is the one point where it would be cool to be at the pit, because by now they'd probably be in about 6 inches deep in some mud. But this field has been great tonight. The Panthers' speed has been on display all night long, and they've just wore out the Monroe Central front line. I think they're finding some big gaps in there. Llewellyn in that last 2 drives has had some really big runs. We are through 3 quarters of play here at Logansport High School. Panthers are 12 minutes away from another berth down to Lucas Oil Field, leading 35-8 over the Monroe Central Golden Bears. We're going to take a break, be back here for fourth quarter action in just a moment. Thanks for watching RTC4.com's coverage of the North Semistate. We'll be right back.
Simplify your banking with a Simply Free checking account from First Federal Savings Bank.
All it takes is a $50 opening deposit. There's no minimum balance requirement and no service fees.
For a limited time, you'll also receive a free gift just for opening a checking account.
And with Instant Issue, we can give you a debit card when you open your account, giving you immediate access to your funds.
Simply Free checking from First Federal Savings Bank, a simpler way to bank.
And remember, we don't want to be the biggest bank, just the best bank.
All right, welcome back here. Getting set to kick off. Or no, we're not kicking off. We're not. The Golden Bears have the ball to start the fourth quarter. Sorry, my batteries in my headsets are going down, and I'm thinking other thoughts right now. So it's 1st and 10 to start the fourth quarter for the Golden Bears. And first down run.
Just kind of an off-tackle kind of stretch play there by Monroe Central. I'm not sure. I don't know if they're going to come out throwing it a little bit more or what. They haven't. It's harder to throw a ball that's kind of sloppy, but it's not as sloppy as it would be at the pit. I guarantee that'd be mud and grass and all kinds of stuff on that football. So.
All right, that's actually going to bring up a 3rd and 2 here from Monroe Central from the 40-yard line. Canaster in the shotgun. A little bit high on the snap and trying to hit a guy coming across the middle, and that's going to be incomplete, bringing up a 4th down. We're going to go to a switch here on batteries. Alrighty, thanks Scott. He did a quick battery change there on our audio box, and the punt by Monroe Central goes out of bounds, and it's going to be at the 11-yard line. Is where the Pioneers will start here with their first drive of the fourth quarter.
Well, it kind of is not as bad as it was rain-wise, but it's still coming down pretty good. And we had a few head for the hills a little bit, but
a lot of umbrellas popped out. I didn't see a ton of people leaving. I think they're going to want to stick around and see the last 11 minutes of this one. Grant's asking me for scores on the other game, and I asked him if he had them. So
yeah, he can tell him he can
look them up.
He
for
can
us.
do that. Come on, Grant.
It's Indianapolis Lutheran playing Eastern Green down in Indianapolis.
Wow. See, he held on to that to the very last minute on that read play, that power read play, and he really got the defense to move laterally and made a nice gain there, nice 11, 12-yard gain there by Jack Kaiser.
Yeah, I tell you what, Llewellyn did such a good job on the fake. I wasn't looking when the snap happened, and I was watching him. He had that fake carried out all the way to the right side there, and Kaiser with a big first down run.
When one of the staple things on the wing tee is to run out your fakes, and they do a nice job of doing that. And on almost every play, they're running out their fakes and doing a nice job.
Kaiser out of the pistol, hands it to Llewellyn. He's going to go off to the left side, and he's going to break it loose. And nice cut back there. And that's going to get him another 5 yards, and he's going to be brought down just shy of the 40-yard line. Big run there by Ezra Llewellyn off the left side.
It's a lot of fun seeing this Pioneer speed on display here on this turf field. And, you know, these turf fields are built really well. They drain well, and they don't pool water. And, you know, it looks exactly like it did when we started the game, even though we've had quite a bit of rain coming down here in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, and, you know, I'm not going to say that I was right, but I kind of predicted that this field would really do the Panthers well, and I think it has. And, you know, like I said, they'd probably be bogged down in some mud right now. And there's a play. They're going to go right side with Llewellyn, and he's going to break it loose. He gets across the 50. He's at the 45. He's still going at the 40, and he's going to be brought down at about the 37-yard line. They're going left. They're going right. Llewellyn right now is breaking free for some big runs. And, boy, I tell you what, he's going to be fun to watch for the next 3 years. He's fun to watch now.
I'm going to tell you something that kind of sportsmanship on display that I really enjoyed there, and that's that Monroe Central Bears team helping the Pioneer players up off the ground. You don't see that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You usually, a lot of times, it's the own teammate that helps the guy up off the ground, and I think this has been a hard-fought game, pretty clean. most of it, and two really good teams going at it.
Kaiser under center. Llewellyn going in motion. He's going to give him. He's going to go off the left. And a nice job that time. Llewellyn can't get around number 5, Seth Wilson. And a good job. That was closing speed right there by Wilson.
Really was. He took a great angle, caught him on the back, on the inside hip, and took him to the ground. And, I like that play. You got to get in the way of people to kind of, let your playmaker make some cuts and kind of decide if he, like the rule when you're coaching that jet sweep play is you go hash numbers out of bounds. That's the way they coach it. You're getting outside as fast as possible, and sometimes the defense, a lot of times you come back with a counter or you run your waggle play to kind of counteract some of that jet motion because the defense will start screaming to that side.
Panthers going to take a timeout with 8:22 left to go in the game, up 35-8. I tell you, Casey, I want to tell you the South Semistate, 3A Semistate is going to be broadcast tomorrow at 5 p.m. live on RTC4. It's going to put Evansville Memorial at Danville for a trip to Indianapolis in the 3A division. It's been great. RTC is doing a great job. They've really stepped up here and done well coming down and covering Pioneer. This is part of their partnership with the ISC group, right, Scott?
Yes, sir.
Part of the partnership with the ISC group. They're going to be broadcasting some out of area games as well. And tomorrow at 5, you can get to see some South Semi-State action live on RTC4. So the timeout here by the Panthers with 8:22 left to go. They got a second down and 10 from the 38-yard line, leading 35-8 over Monroe Central.
Just keep the lightning gods away there, Steve, so we can finish this and get it over. And
Kaiser's going to keep it. He's going to get across the 30 down to the 25-yard line, and I don't know. It almost looked like he was trying to give it to Llewellyn, and
I think it was a busted play a little bit.
Yeah, it did. It looked kind of like it, and I'll take a busted play and gain 10.
It usually doesn't work that way.
No.
I mean, usually you're getting mauled in the backfield on a busted play, but that was a nice play there by your 6'2", 210-pound junior D1 offered quarterback there by Pioneer. So looks like we got first and down and 10 here from about the 25. And it'd be interesting to see if Pioneer, ball's spot on the right hash here. Be interesting to see where they're going to attack here.
All right, first and 10. Kaiser's going to give it up the gut, and there's Gregorich. He's going to get 4, maybe 5 yards on the play.
Actually, that's a sophomore, Miles Von Tobel, who's really come on.
Was that 14?
Yeah, 14.
Okay. Yeah.
Danny's got the big, bright yellow shoes. So
okay, well, I saw the 4, and I saw it up the middle. I just, so used to seeing him going up the middle. So, yeah, that's a good interior run there by Gregorich. I did it again, Von Tobel.
He's done a nice job coming on. Last year he played a little bit of defense, and then this year he's playing some halfback and defensive back and linebacker a little bit. So
Kaiser under center, and there's Gregorich. And he is not going to be – the ball's loose. The ball's loose, and it's recovered in the end zone for the Panthers. Let's see who got it.
Who we get? Who is that? I can't even pick out who did it. I'm going to have to ask my neighbors up here who got that.
Was that 10?
Who got that?
Was that Nate Johnson?
Nate Johnson,
Nate Johnson with the recovery. I take it there's nothing about recovering past the fumble point.
In high school?
In high school?
No.
Apparently not.
Ball's live.
The ball's live. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of a fumble and an advance. So Johnson gets credited with the touchdown on the recovery. And the Panthers open up a 42-8 lead here with 6:46 left to go. Casey, I think you can feel a little better.
I feel better now.
Yeah?
I feel better.
So Johnson, fumble recovery.
I was hoping they could still shoot the fireworks off in this downpour, and it looked, you know, they're not scared. They're going to keep doing it, and I like this. So,
all right.
I try jokes, but they don't always work, you know. Just I try, you know. So,
hey, that's good. I tell you what.
You know what's the bummer, man? You know, the Pioneer Panthers go down to state, and you know it's kind of looking that way right now, and we can't webcast, man. You know, the HSA, you know, they have all their rules and stuff, but that's all right. They do a nice job. They do a nice job with their video package and webcast and TV and stuff. And
well, if you've got an extra 40,000-50,000 sitting around, we can I think get the rights. I think this Fox.
I'm just gonna periscope it and hold my phone.
Oh, okay. We're trying to think of some tricks up here to, you know.
You should be able to watch that on
we need some.
HSATV.org.
We need some Homer commentators there, Steve and Scott, so we can.
You know, it's funny. I've done 2 games with you now, and I've turned into a homer pretty quick.
I try not to be a homer too much. You know, I try to kind of look at the schemes and stuff. But yeah, these RTC guys, I'm getting them on my side. I like it. So
that rain is coming down.
Man, it is pouring right now, isn't it?
All right, so the kickoff return is taken across the 25 to about the 26-yard line, and the sheets of rain coming down hard. Let's see what Grant's supposed to be getting me an update.
You know, I don't care if it's raining, if my hometown is going to state. It doesn't bother me. You know?
And it's looking pretty good, 42-8. I think return trip down to Indianapolis is in the books here for the Panthers.
Well, and I'm going to tell you, you know, growing up in a town of 900 people, and, you know, you got Lake Sycott and Lucerne and Royal Center and even some Logansport kids kind of on the edge of Logansport go to Pioneer. Football's kind of become life for a lot of people in this area, and the kids have really bought in. Coach Johnson created an enormous amount of success in his 26-year run at Pioneer, and then Coach Berry, a former player, has come on, and he's got to keep Coach Johnson's staff, which has tremendously helped out a lot. And these guys the kids are all in, and the parents are in. And, you know, one of the fun things when we went down to state was, you know, we took a charter bus, and, you know, I thought it was cool in '97. We took a charter bus and we had a TV in the charter bus. So now, you know, that's nothing. You know, I thought it was cool back then. You know,
you get those in your minivan.
I know, right? I thought it was, you know, and you had the coach bus driver, and you know, you get down there, and it was so much fun. And every year, it's a struggle. It's a battle. Mm-hmm. You got to get kids in the weight room. You got to get the camps in the summer. They go to Trine for Wing T camp. And you got to get kids to buy in. And right now it's just a lot of fun to be a part of it.
Well, the latest score here I have from there's a interception almost by Kaiser. Von Tobel and Kaiser kind of collide there. I think they actually defended themselves, knocked the ball loose. But
kind of a wobbly duck there after they hit, isn't it?
Indianapolis Lutheran in the third quarter leading 8-6 over Eastern Green.
Okay.
So that's the latest score I got, thanks to crack reporter Grant Montgomery over sitting watching his big screen. Appreciate your effort there, Grant. Thanks a lot. And we'll see here. It looks like Pioneer's going to move on. There's a punt for Monroe. That's probably the best punt they've had all night.
Oh,
and,
wow.
It's going to take a huge Monroe bounce.
Look at that thing go.
And it's going to die at the 5-yard line. So 42-8, and they get the best punt they've had all night.
Sometimes that's how the ball rolls, you know. It just happens that way. And I know we had some veterans that have played Pioneer football, and I just get messaged by a couple, and I know they're stationed and we got Tyler Schreier stationed in North Carolina and Oakley Llewellyn. They're both down there. You know, and I know Matt Rister played Pioneer in the 90s. He's been watching in Germany, and a lot of, you know, Panther fans all over the world. I know, you know, last time we were looking, we're close to 1,000 viewers, and it's really awesome. And to have that much community support for this program.
Well, it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. The Lafayette Catholic game was a fun game, and this has been great. I loved, we got down here early, and just, standing out here, there wasn't anybody else really here yet, and looking over the field, and it's just a beautiful facility here at Logansport. Got to give a big shout out once again to everybody here at Logansport, because they put this thing together in like 24 hours, and everything was winterized. Bathrooms were winterized, concession stands were winterized, and they threw this thing together. And big kudos to everybody here at Logansport for all their efforts in getting this game on. It's been a beautiful field all night long, and the Panthers have rolled here in the second half.
Well, and I run a football alumni network for Pioneer, and I have a lot of people from basically all over, even people that haven't played football in my group, and they just like, I'm a big proponent. I like to see Cass County teams do well. I teach at Logansport. I've been a Logansport employee for quite a long time, and it's a really good school system, and this county is just a great place to grow up. It's really safe, and I always tell the kids here in Logansport, I didn't have a McDonald's open when I lived in Royal Center. Friday.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, we got
Yeah, got our camera back. That's amazing. That thing took about a 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Looked like it went about 8 steps. And
our production leader, Scott Sigurd, probably had a mild heart attack when when that thing took a tumble. So, yeah, we got mostly younger players in right now, and we're having problems getting set here. So.
Hey, there's Pearson, Noah Pearson, getting a carry. Good friends with his dad and mom, Grant. Of course, you worked with his mom, Rochelle.
Yeah, she's a Logansport employee as well, and she helped me a ton getting the Pioneer Football Hall of Fame going, and I don't know, we're getting shrapnel up here from our camera falling, so. We'll just kind of set that to the side. Yeah, she was a big help getting the Football Hall of Fame going, and we put in 7 guys in the Hall of Fame this fall, and we had a great night doing that. And guys that were on the state title team, guys that were from the beginning of the program, and superintendents and administrators that helped get it going. A lot of fun. Dan McClain was the principal at Pioneer. Maury France, superintendent. Mike Johnson was the head coach for 25 years and won a lot of titles, and Rick Weaver and Joe Pasquale and Tate Odom and Michael Pugh were our Hall of Famers this year, and we thought that would be something maybe we'll do about every 5 years or so, and had a lot of fundraising, and a lot of companies here in Logansport gave us a lot of money to do it, and just a lot of fun. And I think it would be really, really fun because we did two things in the fall. I get some crazy ideas. Sometimes they work, sometimes But the idea was in August to bring the 20-year anniversary of the state title team back because it's been 20 years. We won the state in 1997. And we're going to bring back the state title reunion, and we're going to have 7 Hall of Famers put in. And we did it at the Moose Lodge here in town. And it was just, it was just had so much support and so much help from people like Rochelle and Clay Scott and my committee. Coach Barry was on it, and Kenny Lesher and Mike Montgomery, who's a really well-known commentator here in town, and Eric Ferg. Actually, we had a guy call in from San Francisco that would call in. He's a lawyer. He was on our state title team, and he's 4 hours behind us, and he would call in. And so the committee and doing all those things, and it's a lot of fun when you get the opportunity to go down to Lucas Oil and get a play for a state title. It's incredible. So.
Well, it looks like the Panthers are going to get to do just that. They're going to get a return trip down, and really don't have much as far as a definite as far as who they will end up playing. The Eastern Green and Indianapolis Lutheran. Lutheran was up 8-6 in the third quarter. There's the last update I have. Either way, number 2 or number 3, I mean, it's going to be a battle. You want your 2 best teams to be on the field, and chances are it's going to be one of the, either number 2 or number 3. But the fact of the matter is the Panthers are going to get the chance to go back down. This will be the 3rd time this class of seniors has been down there, and man, they're looking to bring home the big hardware this time. And I told you at the LCC game, I said I think the winner of this game is going to win state, and I still stand by that. I think that the winner of that game, which is Pioneer, I really think they're going to go all the way this year.
I kind of learned in coaching that you can't I can't take any opponent for granted. I know you're not saying that, but I'm also saying, like, we used to always think. I used to always think, man, we look really good. Well, we look really good against Cones. We look really good against Air. We look really good against our freshmen, And then you other teams, they're very solid. And I remember the year we won state. Coach Brock was our defense coordinator, and Coach Johnson was basically called our offense, and he was the head coach. And I mean, they had like 3-day beards going, and they watch so much tape, their eyes are bloodshot, and they're doing all these tendencies, and you had coaches that just put their heart and soul into it, and I know we got that here at Pioneer right now.
Well, you can look here, the senior Nash, number 4 for Monroe Central. He's hobbled up over here on the side, but he doesn't want to go out. This is his last game. You said that you look really good against your freshmen, you look really good against Cones. Well, Pioneer looks really good against Monroe Central, and Monroe Central is a very, very good team. And I tell you what, they've put on a clinic here in the second half, defensively and offensively.
Well, I think, the first quarter jitters, you're playing on a different field, different stands. Loganport's been, there's a lot of Logan people here tonight. I saw, the fireworks. You got people, Logan's always had the people could park up here and kind of have the drive-in experience over here. And our superintendent Michelle Starkey does a phenomenal job at our school system. And but it's always. It's a lot of study, a lot of tendencies, coaches getting a lot of different things to try to play these games. And you're right, Monroe Central came out this first quarter, and they hit Pioneer right in the mouth. They really did. I thought they came out and hit Pioneer right in the mouth.
Yeah.
And Pioneer came back. They got knocked down, but they came right back, and they didn't let them score again. You're done. We're gonna. All right, we got hit. We're coming right back to you. And we're going to do some damage, and they sure did tonight.
First 3 possessions for the Panthers, punts, and then the interception, and after that it's been all Panthers.
Well, you got a senior running against some younger kids right now, number 2, Wyatt Snyder, for the Golden Bears.
You got to feel for the seniors here, for the Golden Bears. like I said in the pregame, talking to the athletic director at Monroe Central, they kind of thought they would be here last year. They had a big class of seniors, and this group of seniors, there's I think 8 of them, he said, really stepped up this year, and they put in the work, and they've had a tremendous season. And unfortunately for them, it's going to come to an end here tonight. The Pioneer Panthers are just too much for them to handle. But, take your hat off and give them a big round of applause, because, they've really had a great season.
They really have. And I know Coach Hostetler's game plan coming in was to stop Jack Kaiser. Easier said than done.
Yeah.
He's a phenomenal athlete. He's been going to 7-on-7 stuff all through junior high. He's been going to Indy. He's been going all over the United States and playing in some of these leagues.
Yeah.
And, just playing at Pioneer probably wouldn't have got him noticed at D1 schools. Going to some of these, leagues outside of, junior high and doing stuff and getting stronger in the weight room and working on his speed. Those things help. Monroe Central is going to score here. Number 2, Wyatt Snyder.
Snyder gets a touchdown with 20.7 seconds left. There's a reason he's got offers on the table from Iowa and IU and Purdue. He's got a big decision to make, in the next year or so as to where he wants to go. I'm not going to say anything. Purdue would be a good choice, but that's a great thing to have. 3 Big Ten offers.
Right. It doesn't happen at Pioneer. I mean, to be honest, we've had good success, but we haven't had, a guy get D1 offers like he's getting, and he's got a great family, and I know Mom and Dad are very supportive. And his teammates are supportive because he's a very humble kid.
Yeah.
I've talked to him a few times, and I've talked to Dad, and, it's a different animal now because you got people tweeting you. You got people messaging you. You got people that are handing out your cell phone number, and you're dealing with stuff. And now that back in the day it was letters.
Yeah.
You got letters. You got letters in the mail for recruits, and now it's a whole different animal because the NCAA opened Pandora's box and said, well, you can message kids on Twitter and Facebook or whatever, but you can't do these other things. And it's just nutty what they're allowing and what they don't allow. And maybe they should go back to just offer letters. That's what I think. Sometimes I think back in the day we had it right.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been going through some of that with my daughter. She's a senior, and she's a pretty talented basketball player. She's not D1 talent by any means, but she's been getting some NAIA, some D3 stuff, and it's been the same thing. I don't even know how many texts from coaches she gets in a day. She doesn't tell me a lot of that, but I know there's several that text her pretty much every day, and so it can get a little overwhelming for a kid. You're in high school and you're trying to just, play your sport, and you're trying to, get the grades that you need to get and everything else, and you throw that on top. And social media and everything today, it's, even back when we were kids, none of this existed. Cell phones didn't exist. My 11-year-old daughter has an iPhone.
Yeah.
It just.
Well, I think I went to college and played 1 year of college baseball. And I played with a guy who played in major leagues. It was NAIA, and he was from Argus, Eric Stoltz. I played college baseball with Eric. And he was a talented pitcher. He had the right build. He was a lefty. He could throw hard.
Yeah.
And when I went to college, I was like, wow, this is NAIA, but they're really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought this was the lowest division of basketball and baseball. And
they play good. Yeah, Eric's brother's wife was my daughter's teacher last year.
Okay, nice.
And actually, his brother just passed away here last fall. But it's and he was a really good high school player, and like you said, playing at Bethel, and he made it all the way up to the majors and everything. And well, the final score here: the Pioneer Panthers 42, the Monroe Central Golden Bears 14. Pioneer is going to advance to Lucas Oil Field. They're going to be playing Friday next week at 12 p.m. And the last score update, I still had Indianapolis Lutheran up 8-6 over Eastern Green. So we don't really know. It was into the fourth quarter, still 8-6. And congratulations to the Pioneer Panthers. And, we won't be covering the game, but I think we might be able to get down there to the game, and maybe we can put together some B-roll film type stuff. I don't know. That'll have to be worked out. Scott's giving me the cue to cut this off. We've had some issues with the camera. It's soaking wet out there. So we're going to cut this out short here. Congratulations to the Pioneer Panthers, your 2017 semi-state champions. Lucas Oil Field bound for Scott Sager and Wade Langley out there in the weather. Appreciate Casey Hines here this evening with the color commentary. I'm Steve Stricker. Good night here from Logansport High School, where the Pioneer Panthers advance to the state championship game.